ever sent videos that I'm in. Now, sometimes those videos are with other people, but like in terms of me sending anything to another person, it's like it's because I'm in it, not because somebody.
How does that change anything? If you're in a nude picture with another person, it's still their nude. I mean, yeah, your nude's there too, but it's still their nude. Like, you being in it doesn't take away the fact that they're in it. That's not how that works.
That gets no grace for going through the exact problem that Destiny's complaining about. As far as the messages Destiny sent me, yeah, people are talking.
True. This is the exact same thing that she complained about. And he told her it was her fault. Now that, I'm sorry. I just don't have any sympathy for him. I don't. This man is terminally online. He is absolutely in control of the narrative of the information that he shares and what gets shared about him. And he just won't shut up. He just keeps talking about this shit. So, at some point. Jesus. Why did you even do this interview? Why are you doing any of this? If you've got an open court case, just shut the fuck up. I'm pretty sure your lawyers have probably told you to do that already. Just shut the fuck up. Speaking of content cops, and you know what? I kind of like this trend, and I want this trend to become a thing. I don't think iDubbbz should get to own content cop anymore. I don't think it should be associated with iDubbbz anymore. I don't think that we should just let him be the arbiter of content cop. Content cop has a special place in many commenters' hearts, my own included. It's one of the reasons I got into the commentary stuff. Like, way back in the day when I got into it, it was because of videos like Content Cop. It was because of videos like the ones that H3H3 done. Like, both of those guys influenced me. And watching them go through this, and watching, like Ian turn on Ethan and watch this, I feel like I'm watching my YouTube parents go through a divorce. Like, Mommy and Daddy, please stop fighting. Please. Why can't you guys just make up? Yeah. I feel like they're going through a divorce and a custody battle is happening right now, and each kid has picked their favorite parent in hopes that they'll get custody with the parent that they want. So all the iDubbbz fans have gone over to the Hassan thing, and all the Ethan fans are, oh god, it's. Anyway, I don't think he deserves to keep Content Cop anymore. I think it should belong to the people. I think it should enter the public domain. And WillyMac has put out a Content Cop on Destiny. And I want to see this trend continue. Not specifically from Willy. I think that all commenters should do their own version of a Content Cop as a way to just make Content Cop the new phrase for how we're going to do a takedown on somebody. And we can take that back. We can save Content Cop and make it our own, since Ian is determined to bury it and run it into the ground. So we're gonna watch the Content Cop on Destiny. This will probably be the remainder of the content for tonight's stream. So we're gonna watch the Content Cop on Destiny. Quietly play a little COD in the background, and this one looks like it's gonna be wild. Apparently, he's interviewed both Destiny and everybody else involved, and we've seen a few hints at these interviews. In WillyMac Show's last video, where he gave a little preview of it at the end, and just the clip from that preview alone went viral, where he was threatening to kill Queeman and some other people. So this should be good. I'm excited for this one. Let's throw this up on screen, guys, and that's
Since my last Destiny video, a lot has changed. We have a court document from Pixie's legal team alleging that he was deleting evidence, specifically messages with multiple women, who have claimed that he shared sex videos with them without the participants' consent. So he wasn't just sharing videos with Rose, he was sending it to other women who then told Pixie. I had a conversation with Anna, who claims Destiny sent her videos of girls that she'd never seen before.
So, I've been sent videos. I have no way of knowing if they were consensually, like, recorded or sent.
In my last video, I made clear that if Destiny wanted to be taken seriously again, he'd have to own up to what he did. He's always preaching about accountability, but now when it's his time to finally own up, he doesn't. Instead, he tells me he's going to drop the manifesto to end all manifestos. I was not very confident, as the evidence against him was already damning. He literally admitted fault. Aaron tells Destiny, "You distributed it non-consensually," and Destiny replies, "Yeah, I know. I have damaged her."
Yeah, I don't understand why he would say that. I'm trying to figure out what the cope was with this, or what he meant by it. You distributed it non-consensually. Yeah, I know. He had a reasoning behind this, or like I've seen some cope reasonings behind this, but I can't wrap my head around what they were or why you would you would say something like this. Why would you say, yeah, I know? I think like the defense that he was going to use, that I think I've seen some of his fans use, is that the yeah, I know part from that wasn't in direct response to the you shared them consensually. Was he was actually responding to a previous message, and that's what he was going to go with. But it's not looking good for him. I can tell you that much. Like, you already did admit to, like, you're pulling the Dr. Disrespect card. You already admitted to sharing the Pixie video with Rose without Pixie's consent. And then you walked that back and said, well, actually, we had implied consent, which isn't a fucking thing. That's not how consent works. But, okay.
Severely. He tells Pixie, I'm so sorry, there's literally zero excuse. But he tries to recontextualize this in our interview.
When I sent that message to Pixie, and I was like,
oh, here we go.
I feel fucking horrible. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I've psychologically damaged you. You're like, this is horrible, whatever. I do feel horrible. It has nothing to do with whether or not I consented to send the video. I just feel horrible that something that I was involved in ended up leaking publicly. Like, even if she would have said, like, even if that wouldn't have been sent to anybody, if somebody would have, like, hacked my Google Drive, I would have said the exact same thing.
So was his manifesto good? Well, it seems to.
Yeah, so it's about yeah, he's doing the feelings argument that I feel bad that you feel bad. Like, I feel bad that it happened, but I didn't make it happen. Okay. This all feels pretty weak to me, but I guess we'll see when it goes to court. I don't know.
Persuaded much of his own community, with many of the top comments praising him. However, when you get down to the meat of the argument he's making, it doesn't change anything. I confront him about doxing, pedo allegations, as well as converse with people from his past. This is the Destiny Manifesto. Where there's DMs about you saying like, hey, I wish this person, has this person been doxed yet?
Yeah, for Anna, that's bullshit. For just like Queeman, I'd kill him if I could. I'd choke the fucking house and do it. Bro, I swear to God, if I quit streaming, I'm gonna fucking go on an assassination mission, okay? These people are gonna start disappearing one at a time, okay?
That's why this video was sponsored.
Jesus, yeah. I don't think anybody can see that as a real threat. I think the cope there is gonna be that he's joking, but is he? No, yeah, I mean, he's not really gonna kill anybody. I don't want to believe he's really gonna kill anybody, but he's just trying to display how mad he is, but dude, why would you even do this interview? Like, you have to know how bad that's gonna make you look. Like, you have to know that, right? Like, this is a bad look no matter how you slice it, even if you're joking. Like, this is the worst time to make these kinds of jokes.
Sponsored by Aura. In a topic where people's personal information is being maliciously shared and posted online, it's an important reminder.
I'm not gonna skip the sponsor. I mean, I'll cut it out of the VOD. But for the live stream, we do not skip sponsors on content we steal. / borrow. React to. I don't know. Whatever people accuse this of being.
Reminder that people like you and me are just as vulnerable.
Doesn't mean I won't talk through it.
Websites where anyone could buy anyone else's personal information for just a few bucks. So it's important that you take the time to protect yourself. I do using Aura. Aura identifies brokers on your behalf and automatically submits opt-out requests that would otherwise be impossible to keep up with on your own. Seriously, just Google your name. You will see your address, phone numbers, family members popping up on all of these white pages websites. But if you give Aura just a bit of your personal information, after a few weeks,
yeah, because that's how white pages works.
You'll get less spam emails, less spam calls on your phone. It is genuinely life-changing. And Aura will continuously monitor the dark web and alert you if your personal information was exposed. You won't leave the back door to your house open at night, so why?
It shocks me the number of people who don't know what white pages are. Like, younger people who think like, these services find yeah, like I got doxxed, and they wonder why doxing isn't illegal. It's because white pages exist. Back in the day before the internet, we had phone books, and it would put people's addresses and their phone numbers, and like all of that stuff was just publicly available. You could look up the person you needed to contact, and their contact information was there. It was called the white pages. The yellow pages were for businesses. The white pages were for individuals. We had two separate phone books, and it worked the same way then as it does now. Just now it's a website instead of an actual book. And you could request to make your stuff private, which is why sometimes you get a call on your phone and the caller ID will say private number. That's how that would happen back in the day, was you'd have to contact these pages and say that I wish to have my contact information made private. I don't want this on this phone book, and they take it off. And the same thing can happen now. I don't know how you would get it off the dark web, but okay.
do it online. Plus, they give you up to $5 million of identity theft insurance should the worst case scenario happen. So stop the spam calls and protect yourself online by going to aura.com/WillyMac to start your 14-day free trial. Thank you, Aura, for sponsoring this video. Destiny's manifesto spends a lot of time clarifying that he is the biggest victim of these leaks.
It's incredibly bizarre how many people are fixated on insisting that I'm not a victim in this when I was the primary target of the entire revenge porn posting.
Because you shared it originally. You would be the victim if they hacked your account and they found that file in a Google Drive or something and then they shared it. You would be the victim. Because if it was in your Google Drive and that drive wasn't shared and it was just you kept it privately, which was the agreement that Pixie made when she let you film it, then you wouldn't be the victim. It's the fact that you sent it to an e-girl and then the fact that it leaked is because they hacked your DMs, not your Google Drive, is the reason why you're not the victim. And I know he knows this. He's smart enough to know this. My only explanation for this entire manifesto, because he's done these manifestos before, and they've been good in the past, like his one on Keffels. But the only reason I can think that he would even make this manifesto is to try to help him in some legal battle, I would assume. Because this optically does not make you look good.
While other people were undeniably harmed by these leaks, they were seen as collateral damage to the publisher of the material and the website providing hosting for it in the goal to attack me, whether it was through reputation, monetary harm, or just some other form of sadistic humiliation.
Nobody is denying that you are also a victim. Nobody is denying that the hacker...
I am. I mean, victim of hacking, sure, but I don't think he's a victim of it being shared. I don't think he's a victim of the revenge porn. I'll put it that way. He's not a victim of the revenge porn. He's a victim of having his privacy violated, sure, but I don't think he's a victim of the revenge porn, no. Unless he's talking about the one where he's smoking pole here. If he's talking about that one, then yes.
Is a bad guy, but the only reason there is collateral damage is you. If you didn't non-consensually share these girls' images, there would be nothing for the hacker to leak. I feel like he knows this. He's just trying to mitigate accountability in front of his audience.
Yep.
In Destiny's video, he does provide some background information on the hacker.
I don't think it's just in front of his audience. I think he's trying to he's trying to farm clips and create context for the legal case that he hopes will be pulled up. That's what I think he's doing. It's not just damage control, but there's a legal element to it, is what I think.
Hacker who goes by the name Solo.
Solo messaged me sometime in the morning and said that he was unhappy with how the coverage of the leaks had been so far. He felt as though people weren't giving it enough attention, so he was going to leak more from my logs with Rose if I didn't allow him to come on my stream and speak with me. I don't exactly remember what the message to me was, as I just woken up, read it, and then responded briefly before going back to sleep. The next time I checked my messages with him, everything had been deleted.
Luckily, I have the messages. The messages are Solo demanding Destiny talk to him on stream, or else he's going to
visual cue. I gotta edit my stream title here real quick. I gotta edit my stream title here real quick for the change in content for the next segment. I don't have a thumbnail for this one, so we'll just change this to be wait, do I have like I think I got a version of a thumbnail I can use for this. An old Destiny video. Let's do that. Told you guys I'm still kind of new at this. New at this streaming while doing the drama thing. Usually I would just stream video games, but most of the time I play video games. I watch YouTube stuff in the background anyway. Might as well. Might as well just make it part of the stream. So I'm learning as I go. Sorry, I'm looking for a file here. I don't want to use the actual thumbnail I use for my video. I want to use the pictures I used to make the thumbnail. I can't find that picture. What the fuck is that picture? We'll just use the raw image. Don't make me Google it. Don't make me Google it. Did I delete it? I gotta reorganize these folders. I got shit everywhere in here. Just got kind of got everything in one download folder as I'll make shit up as I go. Yeah, the organization and the flow are something I'm working on. All of this will be cut from the VOD, so if you guys are VOD watchers, you'll get a more cohesive viewing experience. But welcome to the live experience, where it's all about just hanging out and watching me fail at YouTube right now, apparently. Yeah, I'm just gonna Google the image then. Fuck it. Okay, cancel that. Cancel that. Let's just Google it real quick. Just pull up a separate tab. Oh, the problem with Googling Destiny is I gotta put streamer Destiny, otherwise it's gonna give me a fucking video game. You know what? That one will do. I just need something temporary, so it doesn't even really fucking matter. It's just for this stream. I'm never gonna use it for anything else. So we'll do this one. What is this WEP? What is this WEP file format that all fucking like Google Images show up as now? Why can't I have fucking PNG? Jesus. What was wrong with the PNG format here? Here, we'll just make it that. Change title to that. Okay, here we go. There we go. Jesus. What is this fucking WEP file format that they use now? So fucking weird. Alright. Okay. Alright, sorry about that. Get that pulled back up.
To leak all the DMs and videos he shared with Rose. He also threatens to release Rose's real age, saying, "You were negligent in verifying her age even after you joked about her looking so young that you would need her ID to make sure she was really even 18. The only other time I heard this allegation of Rose being potentially underage is when I interviewed Kelly Jean.
So he tweeted like a bit over a week ago.
I hadn't heard that she was potentially underage when they first started talking, but I'm gonna be a little less harsh on that, because that's one of those things where it's like, well, what were the conversations like when she was underage? I mean, still kind of weird if he started talking to her when she was underage and then waited for it to turn 18 for it to get sexual. That doesn't look good, but that's not as bad as if he was having sexual conversations with her while she was underage. So different, but still bad kind of things.
That the Rose girl was an OnlyFans girl. She's not.
Mm-hmm.
She never had an OnlyFans. She was never on any platform that could have verified her identity.
Why is she known as like a Fansly OnlyFans e-girl?
She sold nudes via Twitter. So it's not that we're trying to say Destiny's a pedophile. It's that we're saying Destiny is reckless.
I'm gonna be real, she does end up doing that. It's very much what she would imply. She'd list all this evidence for why Destiny should have been suspicious that she was underage.
Also, didn't bother to check someone's like age, right? It's like a...
She never...
I thought Rose did have an OnlyFans. Like, I thought I remember seeing that at some point, like someone showing screenshots from it, and that she deleted it, but there were screen caps of it existing. So were they trying to say she made it later? Or yeah, I don't understand this. Yeah, I don't know how much credit I put into him. I'm gonna need to see more. Maybe Willie will show more, because I'm gonna need to see more before I go, well, he was talking to an underage girl and not verifying it, because I thought like she had an OnlyFans she could show him. And of course, if she has a verified OnlyFans, that should be all the proof you need, because OnlyFans, to be verified on there, you have to be of legal age. So OnlyFans in that instance would have, done the job of age verification for you, so you wouldn't have to do it yourself.
Should she claim she was underage?
She said she was 19 to him. That is true. But she also said, or 18 or 19. I think she said in messages she was 18 and then turned 19 is most likely the case. She was also saying, she was saying to Destiny, I can't come see you because my parents won't let me. So there was like a lot of like, within these
That doesn't mean much though. Like, yeah, I'm gonna need more evidence than she lives with her parents and she didn't have an OnlyFans. Even if she said 18, even if you go as young as 18, 18 still legal. I mean, it does still make Destiny look like kind of a creep to be as old as he is and going after after an 18-year-old girl, but 18 still legal. I mean, the age gap, it does kind of make him look like a creep, but it's not an illegal age gap. So key difference there. I'm not going to give too much shit. If an 18-year-old wants to date a guy in his 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, do I personally think it's weird? A little bit. I don't think I could date a girl that young, especially since I have girls who are rapidly approaching that age. It would just feel weird, but I mean, to each their own. If it's legal, I'm not one to judge what happens between two consenting adults. So I mean, yeah, that's whatever on that. I'm more interested in the was she actually a minor when they started talking, and if she lied about her age and he just didn't verify it, like how much culpability do you put on him because he took her at face value? I mean, I put some blame on him, but it depends on what they talked about before the sex tape was shared. If you shared it with her while she was a minor without verifying her age, I mean, it's already bad that you shared it without verifying consent from Pixie, but if you then shared it with someone whose age you also didn't verify, so you're sending something without verifying consent to someone whose age you didn't verify, well, that looks even worse. So
messages, sort of tone indicators that this is a very young person. So when someone says OnlyFans, they're spreading a piece of misinformation in his benefit. Because if she did do OnlyFans, he could say, well, this website, which is known for verifying people's identity and age, says she's 19. Therefore, it's reasonable to think that she's 19. In this case,
I personally feel like that is too convoluted of an argument, and if she lied about her age, I'm probably not going to hold
I'm gonna agree with that.
him accountable.
Yeah, and the her not having permission from her parents thing, there are plenty of 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds who live with strict parents, and they'd still have to ask permission from that stuff. I mean, I can use myself as an example. My dad's house rules were my dad's house rules. It didn't matter what age I was. So when my wife, had a stroke during a C-section when we were living in Seattle, and dealing with that caused me to lose my job, and everything just kind of fell apart, and we had to move back home. It was my parents that we moved in with, not hers, because her parents live way out in the sticks, and the only job I went back to my old job working remotely, so I needed an internet connection to have my job, doing remote IT work. So I needed an internet connection to do that job, and her parents have satellite internet. It's too slow to support that job. So we went and moved in with my parents. Even though we're married, my parents' house rules still applied. I could not shut the bedroom door while my wife was there. We couldn't sleep in the same bed. Like the same house rules I had when I was 16 still applied to me in my 30s. When we moved back there, even though we were married. The only reason she was even allowed to spend the night was because we were married. But even then, it was still like he didn't want to sleep in the same bed. We can't shut the bedroom door. Yeah, like there was all these rules. I had a strict curfew growing up. There was places I couldn't go. Like I had to check in constantly. That's just the way my dad ran the house. So when a 19 or a 20-year-old says, "Oh, well, I don't know if I can come visit you because my parents won't let me," that I'm not throwing that up as a red flag of, "Oh, she must not be 19. Her parents are sensitive." No, it's very possible that a 19-year-old just has parents who are that strict. Very, very possible.
Unless I see evidence that is very obvious that she's lying, or he asked for ID or some shit and she's going no.
So he does do that. He makes a message saying,
is that in the leak?
I'll have to find the exact quotation of when he meant.
Is there a way to verify when an OnlyFans was created? Because I know I've seen screenshots of her OnlyFans, and I don't believe they're doctored. Like, is Kelly Jean trying to claim that either those were doctored? Because Willy's not asking those questions. Maybe he'll get to it, but I mean, is she trying to claim that those images were doctored, or are they both just ignoring the fact that those images exist, that people screenshotted it? Like, I know she deleted her OnlyFans after the leak happened and everything, so, like, if you try to go to that name now, nothing comes up. But, like, I think it was, like, Rose is Coming or something was the name of it. Like, I remember seeing screenshots of it. Are they trying to say that those screenshots were doctored? Like, I don't know what the claim is here. Or did Kelly just not do her research? I'm not putting it past Kelly to not do her research. I'm just... I'm just wondering where those screenshots came from. Because I know I'm not misremembering. I know I saw those screenshots.
When he mentions identity.
And if you can, like, if there were a way to look up the specific date, then you could find out if she made that OnlyFans after, you know, the date when they started talking. So then you could say, well, he started talking to her without verifying her age, and then she didn't make the OnlyFans until years later or something. Yeah, then I could see that.
Kelly never proves this. She links me to the hacker telling Destiny she was underage, and Destiny replies saying she told him she was of age selling not safe for work material.
When we started talking, she told me she was of age. The solo guy on Kiwi Farms says as much. I don't think she's underage. I don't think she was ever underage. Well, I mean, except for when she was underage, but before I talked to her.
When navigating Kiwi Farms,
she wasn't
the hacker
talking to
himself
him
would
while he was
clarify in a later post, to Rose's knowledge, Destiny did not know her real age. And even if he did not make it known to her. I don't believe Destiny is a pedophile. Now, apparently there are DMs jokingly asking for ID, commenting on how young she looks.
I don't believe Destiny's a pedophile either. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and say that. I know there's a bunch of people who want him to be. I'm not a Destiny fan. I'm familiar with his content from clips with other content creators I do watch, where they either show clips with him or, you know, him doing the documentary with Turkey Tom and him, you know, showing up in voice calls with, you know, Turkey Tom or Nick DiOrio back in the day and stuff. So there's been some crossover with content creators I do watch. That's how I became familiar with Destiny. I think the fallout from this has affected more than just Destiny. It's gone far beyond just Destiny. And I know Tom Dark won't admit it, but I feel like the ripple effect that this has had on the commentary community is felt on every single channel that I've watched. Nearly every single channel, and I think it's the reason that Tom Dark no longer live streams. He did make a video, responded to it, kind of make a video on it shortly after it happened, but he openly said he was friends with Destiny, and then this happened, and he did disavow, and he did make a video on it, but I feel like his chat didn't leave him alone, and, you know, he, in order to avoid getting sucked into the drama, stopped live streaming. Tom hasn't uploaded, Turkey Tom hasn't uploaded to the Tom Dark or the Tom Dark live channel pretty much since that happened. Like, he did for a little bit shortly after it. Like, I think he tried to do some damage control, and then when he saw it wasn't working, he just said, fuck it, I'm not live streaming anymore. And that sucks, because Turkey Tom is a surprisingly good live streamer, and he was one of the ones that I watch the most. Now it's Nick DiOrio and Chud Logic, but yeah, like if all three of those were live at the same time, Tom would have been the one I picked. So kind of sucks that he's not live streaming anymore. I actually enjoyed his live streaming content more than his video essays than his edited stuff. So it sucks. I understand why he's not, but it sucks. And I hope that after this all blows over or whatever, that he eventually comes back to it, because I imagine the money being made from live streaming is better than like the ad revenue he's getting just off of the, you know, Turkey Tom video essay stuff that he does. So I imagine that that's better. And I hope that he comes back to live streaming. But him not live streaming anymore is, and seeing the fallout from all this stuff is one of the reasons I was kind of inspired to start doing these streams myself. Is I want to be able to provide that content for people, since I wanted people to have a content creator they could watch that provides at least some form of that content. I know I'm nowhere near as good as Turkey Tom or Nicholas DiOrio or Chud Logic or fuck even Queeman, but well, I mean, I'm learning as I go here, so I'll get there eventually. But I probably wouldn't quit. I have no intention of quitting. I can't say for certain what I would do if I got dragged into one of those dramas, but I don't see myself like, I don't see that happening. I want to try to provide people the content for better or worse, and I do believe Destiny. The one piece of advice he gave that I remember seeing in a clip of his that I totally agree with, and I think Tom should have done the same, should be doing what Destiny's doing right now, is just don't address it. Just don't address it. Just ignore it and continue making your content as normal. That you can get through almost any controversy by continuing business as usual. If you just stream through it, if you just continue on and act as if nothing happened. You know, you don't even have to make a response. Just pretend as if it didn't happen and just keep going. And eventually it'll blow over. That's how our media cycle works. People eventually get tired of a controversy, or a new controversy pops up, and yeah, the media cycle nowadays is quick. So the flavor of the week will get stale, and they'll move on to the next thing. So that's probably, I imagine, how I would do it if I ever did get brought up into a controversy. But no, I'm just trying to provide people the content that I have been denied because Tom has stopped streaming.
If I go to a club and I...
Sorry for the tangent. It's just, yeah, I'm still a little hurt. I feel like my internet commentary parents, iDubbbz and Ethan, are getting a divorce, and all the kids are running away from home because Tom's gone now. It's a dark time for me. Okay, leave me alone. But hey, it's encouraged me to stream because I want to provide that content. I want to adopt their space.
someone underage. It doesn't matter that I asked for their age. If they turn out to be younger, you're still going to get prosecuted the same way. It's like the onus is on you. You can use that as a defense only to a point, especially if there are other reasons to believe this person could be underage, as there is in this case, or at least you are not sure. No, I don't think we can confirm their identity. So Rose's boyfriend says she was 17 at the time, and I don't know if she says she was 18 or 19 at the time of sending things.
I get what you're getting at. I need more before I'm comfortable going that far.
Yeah.
Kelly wasn't able to ever find me this message, so I asked Destiny about it. Did she ever engage with you or like show you like a site where maybe it did check for age verification at any point?
I'm trying to think of how much
like at some point.
No, well, the answer is yes. So like she was like an active user of I think Tinder to find hookups and shit. And Tinder is an 18 or older app.
And Destiny sent me messages he had with Rose and her talking about using Tinder. I haven't used Tinder in like 8 years, so I don't know. Google says it verifies age. There needs to be more tangible evidence. Right now, the worst case scenario is that she might have lied to him. And that's the end of the good news for Destiny. Like, yes, congrats, you're not a pedophile, but the few extra wins he racks up during his manifesto are just so insignificant. You know, yes, Pixie did ask for a comical amount of money.
Her first demand letter to me was for a total apology, then at least $15 million in compensation.
So he's going with the she's a gold digger narrative that some people were pushing in the beginning. I personally don't. I don't know what Destiny's net worth is, but considering what he did, I don't care how much money she asked for personally. Like, the only punishment for people that are, you know, super millionaires or like super rich, and don't get me wrong, Destiny is definitely one of them. He has a ton of money. He has millions upon millions of dollars. The only way to punish people that rich is with a monetary punishment, because even they can afford the best lawyers, and even if you can't bring some kind of criminal charges, which in this case it doesn't even look like she can do that, lawsuits are her only option. So monetary punishment is the only punishment. And if you don't give them a big enough amount of money, like if he's got $50 million and she only asked for $1 million, that's not like if the purpose is to punish him, then getting $1 million isn't a punishment. Like, that's a drop in the bucket kind of thing. Like imagine you have $50 and someone wants to punish you by making you give them some of that money, and you only have to give them $1, so now you have $49. Would you feel like you've been punished, or would you feel like you got away with it? Like, yeah, like you have to take a substantial amount of money from them in order to make them feel the burn from that, so that they correct the action and don't let it happen again. Otherwise, they continue the action and look at the fine, as you see with corporations and shit. They'll continue the bad action and look at the fine or whatever's been established as the cost of doing this bad thing as just a cost of doing business. They no longer look at it as a punishment. They just look at it as a, well, if I'm going to do this, let me set aside this much money. This is what I'm going to pay. Fuck it, I'll do it. Yeah. So I don't care how much money she asked for. I don't think this narrative has the same effect that he thinks it's going to have. I don't think it matters. Ask for enough money to punish him. If the goal is to punish him, yeah, ask for enough money to punish him. And if you make yourself rich in the process, then bonus points, I guess.
Fuck that.
Yes, people weaponizing your nudes against you is wrong.
Was now in an impossible position. A revenge point of me was still being blasted across the internet with family members, including my 13-year-old son, being spammed with explicit videos of me, sometimes even by popular social media personalities like Just a Minx. I guess it's because I'm a guy at school. I'm trying to get better, but
yeah, the double standard is real. I'll give him that. That if someone has nudes on a guy and they threaten to share them, or they do get shared, like, the internet will laugh at them, and they're never the victim. Like, the guy's never the victim. He is. It's always his fault, or it's always funny. Like, they are definitely not treated the same at all. What was that content creator who had like a gay OnlyFans that came out from years ago before he became big on YouTube, and then it got discovered? I think it was a Minecraft YouTuber or something, and they found out that he had a gay OnlyFans, and he just got disavowed by everybody because that leaked. So the person that like stole that content and leaked it wasn't the bad guy. He was the bad guy for having a gay OnlyFans. Like, nobody wanted justice for this guy. Nobody wanted to look into why he had this stuff, or like how it leaked, and no one came to his defense. Everyone just disowned him. Where if it was a girl and she had a lesbian OnlyFans, they probably would have came to her defense. Like, it's just like the double standard is real. It is absolutely real.
the image of Destiny sucking that cock is ruining it. Based. And then this is just her casually, replying to tweets of mine. It's good. Getting some good Twitter engagement here. Not that anybody gives a fuck because she's a girl and I'm a guy.
What's up? I saw you sitting in the waiting room. Sorry. Also sent you an invite in the game. It's covering the Destiny content cop made by WillyMac show. I don't know if you're familiar with the streamer Destiny or that drama, but it is some pretty wild stuff.
No.
Well, feel free to dig in. I'll finish this here. In fact, I'll just quit out of this match and we'll go do one because it's at the beginning of the match. Yeah, so dig in. This is some wild stuff. Here, I'm gonna run it past you then, since you don't know him and you don't know anything about the situation. I want to get I want to get the normie take on this, like the normal person take on this. Then someone who's not like taken a side or invested in this drama in any shape, form, or fashion. Okay. So I'm gonna ask you a series of questions, and they'll all lead to something. But just answer them honestly, and let me, and we'll just get your normal reaction to them. They're not like involving you, but just like if it were to happen around you, kind of thing. So I'm not putting you in that situation, so you have to like worry about like someone judging you. All right. How common would you say it is for like a guy? Like, let's say a girl sends a guy nudes. How common would you think it is for that guy to show those nudes off to his friends?
I mean, for me, I never shared them.
Yeah. I'm saying not you personally, but do you know guys who have, or is that like, or
no,
would you consider
I
that
haven't.
To be like a common thing?
And that might be why I gotta mute these guys.
Yeah. I'm just gonna disconnect from the. I gotta wait till the match starts. I'm just gonna disconnect from the voice chat in general. That's usually what I do while I'm in here. Okay, there we go. I'm just disconnecting from the whole voice channel in general. I'm saying how often, how many guys do you think do that? Do you think like they've got nudes of girls on their phone that they're talking to, or maybe that they banged, and then they try to show off their trophies to their friends and be like, that's what I did this weekend, or something like that? Like, do you think guys are sharing nudes?
Oh, I'm sure they are. Of
girls. And then the follow-up question is, do you think those guys are... Well, I mean, how common do you think it is first before I get to the second question? Like,
so
what percentage of guys?
I believe it would be in the age range would make the difference.
Let's just say anybody above the age.
Let's say 60%.
Okay, so over half of the people above the age of 18, you think like.
Oh yeah.
So you're thinking like your average guy has probably done it, or average like. Yeah, like it's a pretty common thing for a guy to like show off his sexual conquest to his friends or whatever.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Okay, so how many, now to dig a little deeper into that, what percentage of those guys, of that 60% that share it, what percentage of those guys do you think asked that girl for her permission to show his friends before he did it?
Oh, none. 2%.
Thank you for the follow, Cash. 2%? Yeah. So the vast majority of guys, so the majority of guys who have done it definitely haven't asked for consent when they did it. All right, follow-up question then. If a guy has nudes of a girl on his phone, like we just mentioned, and he shows it off to a friend to be like, that's what I did this weekend. He shows his phone. He shows this girl's nude to another person without her consent. And he's just showing off a girl he banged. When that guy does that, has he committed a crime?
Good question.
Because he's not sharing it publicly. He's sharing it privately with a friend. You know, showing it off to a friend. Like, at what point does the sharing constitute a crime? Would you think?
I don't know.
All right. And then, let's say, all right, one more scenario here. Let's say that a guy shares pictures of a girl that he's banged, some girl's nudes, without her consent to one of his friends online. So instead of like whipping his phone out and showing them in person, he has sent it to a friend online. That friend
Distributed it at that point.
Yeah, but he only distributed it to one person. He sent it privately to one friend. Okay? He sent it in a DM. Now, that guy that he sent it to, or girl, that person he sent it to, their account got hacked. And now the images of this girl that were sent privately to that person without her consent are now public. Is the guy who originally sent it in a DM at fault for it leaking from the hack? Because yes, he was the originating source of it being shared, but he did not have the intention to share it publicly. So is he at fault or not? And I'm not even asking like legally, I'm asking your opinion here. Like, is he at fault or not? Because he was the original person that shared it, but he had no intention of sharing it publicly, and now it is public as a result of the person he shared it with being hacked. He could not have known that his friend would be hacked when he sent it. And he trusted that that friend wouldn't make it public, but regardless, it's public now. So is he at fault that it's public because he originally sent it, or is the hacker at fault for hacking it and distributing it? Like, who is then at fault? In your opinion, of course, because legally this hasn't been tested yet.
Said it to begin with. Yeah, you didn't know, but shouldn't have put it in a situation where it could have happened.
True. Okay, so that seems to be like the normal person take. Then I was just making sure that I wasn't so online brain that I didn't have the normal person take. Yeah, that's kind of where everybody's
been in that situation where
it
was to be that.
Yeah, is you put them in that situation. Like, as far as like who's legally at fault, that's what's currently being tested in court, and that's why we're covering this drama, is because Destiny, he made a sex tape with another streamer. He made a sex tape with her, and then he shared that sex tape with an OnlyFans girl he was trying to hook up with, I guess, as a way to like show off his skills, you know. So he's sharing his sex tape, but his sex tape also contained another person. It's not like it's just his sex tape. The other streamer is involved too. He didn't ask that other streamer. He just sent it. That other streamer consented to the sex tape being made. She knew she was being filmed, but she didn't consent to that recording being shared with anyone. She thought it was just going to be for his personal spank bank. And now he's sharing it. So that got out, and she's suing him over it. Because she's claiming he's at fault because he violated consent when he shared it, and that if he had never shared it, then the hacker would never would have never had any sex tape of her to leak. Yeah. So, but hacking in and of itself is against the law, so it's really kind of, I could kind of see it going both ways. Like, I'm curious how a judge will see it, because It honestly could be both. It honestly could be both. Like, you could view it either way. Also, it is also of note, because I see a lot of people bringing this up, and they it's obvious that they either haven't Googled it or they just misunderstood how time works. The laws around sharing sex tapes and revenge porn changed within the last few years. So at the time Destiny sent this, the law was different than it is now. It was worded different. Basically, at the time he sent it, the wording was that it was published. That in order for something to be considered revenge porn, it had to be published. And how they define something being published is, oh shit, that's the wrong button. That's also the wrong button. Shit, sorry. The way that they define something being published is that it's shared publicly. So at the time that he shared it, the word published was what was used. And he didn't share it publicly, so he didn't publish it. Now, in the time between then and now, the wording has changed from published to distributed. So, yes, you could definitely argue that what he did is distribute, but you can't retroactively apply that law to what he did, because at the time, that's not how it was written. So you can't expect him to follow a law that hadn't been written yet. So that's another thing. So if at the time he didn't legally think he was doing anything against the law, because he wasn't publishing them to a public website like the Hub, he was sharing it privately to a friend, so he thought that was okay, because at the time the law would have said it was okay. Morally, I would say it's never okay. But to play devil's advocate and to try to explain the law, if that was his line of thinking, he would have been right there. Because the law did change I think it changed in 2022, September of 2022, and he shared those images in 2020. Or he shared the sex tape in 2020. So the law at the time would have been distributing, which he didn't do. So I'm just bringing that up because a lot of people misquote that. And they keep quoting the current day law, because it's just people Googling what the law is, and they see what it currently is, and they don't Google what the law was at the time. It's just people not Googling properly.
Right.
To Google properly for something, especially when it comes to legal shit, is you have to Google what the law was at the time that it happened, not what the law is now, because situations like this can happen where the law changed and you may not have realized it. So just clarifying that for everybody watching. That
right.
At the time, what he did, there's a reason why she's suing and not pressing criminal charges, because a lawyer told her she did not have a criminal case. That's why. Because at the time, what he did wasn't criminal. You can sue for, civil damages, which is what she's doing. And we'll see what the judge says. I don't know if the judge is going to apply current law to his ruling. That's another thing. Is the judge going to apply current law to his ruling? Or is he going to apply, the same law that, criminal court would apply, law that happened at the time? Because he may take a moral stance on it. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes, but this is really one of those up in the air things, at least from a legal standpoint. I mean, from a moral standpoint, I don't think there's any way you can slice it where sharing a sex tape of somebody else in order to get laid from an e-girl doesn't just make you look like a complete fucking asshole. I mean, it's total frat boy behavior. It's not something I would do, but I don't think it's something normal people would do. I don't think normal people would. I mean, sharing it with your friend is one thing. And even I wouldn't do that then, especially in a medium like a DM that could be hacked. But sharing it with an e-girl that you'd been talking to for all of 2 months as a way to get laid, now that is wild. That I'll be like, there's no way I'm sending sex tapes of me with another girl to a stranger. That's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
If the sex tape I made with that girl wasn't already posted somewhere public, if that girl made a sex tape with me and she threw it up on the Hub, sure, I'll send the Hub link. But I'm not sending the file. Are you insane?
Yeah.
Yeah, so. But from a legal standpoint, it's more up in the air, so I was just clarifying that. All right, so anyway, that's the part of the content. Sorry for the tangent, everybody. I just felt the need to clarify that because I have no idea if WillyMac Show is going to go that deep with this. I think he's more just trying to get everybody's side of the story with this content cop. I don't know. We'll see. We'll continue the content cop and see where Willie's going with this.
guy, but you know, it's all good.
Sue her. Sue all of them. Hold them accountable. But why would this make me view the Pixie situation any differently? What you're complaining about is what Pixie and everyone else you shared videos of has to go through now too. You chose to share videos of yourself with an e-girl. They didn't. You made that decision for them. He acts like this is a risk everybody signed up for, which is not true.
For people who are extremely concerned with their privacy or material possibly leaking, I generally just recommend that we don't record anything at all, as there's always some risk that stuff can leak.
What he's not acknowledging is the risk was him. I'm seeing Destiny.
Yeah, like that logic is the same kind of logic that he would fight against in the past. Like you're basically using the, well, look what she was wearing kind of argument, you know, when a guy tries to justify touching a girl or like coming onto a girl at a party or essaying a girl at a party and stuff. Well, come on, she wanted it. I mean, look at what she was wearing and how she was acting. Like you misread a situation. It doesn't make it her fault. Like that's the argument he's using, and I can't understand why. He's smart enough to know better than this. From the content I've seen from him, from the clips I've seen, he seems like a really smart dude. Like I don't understand why this. The only thing I can figure is that this is all being done in service of building some kind of legal defense. Is he's got a story now and he has to stick to it. That's the only thing I can figure he's doing here, and the reason why he's even doing these interviews or bringing this up is this all has to be serving a greater narrative. Otherwise, why do it? Because he should know that these interviews, no matter how well they go, aren't going to change the public perception of him at this point. So you're wasting your time. He should take his, if it wasn't about the legal case, he would be taking his own advice of just stream through it. Just ignore the controversy and stream through it. Because that was his advice I saw in a clip, is that any creator can come back from anything if they just don't acknowledge the controversy and just keep streaming business as usual. Their fans won't go anywhere. Their fans will still be there, and they can eventually recover from it because all the drama channels and the news channels will move on to the next drama and forget about them, and then they can just go back to normal. The more you engage with it, the longer it drags it out. So, I mean, that was his advice. Why would he then not take his own advice? I don't believe he's that stupid. Like I say, he seems like a smart guy. So I figured this has to be in service of something greater, and that something greater being he's got to be doing it for some reason that would help build his case is the best I can figure. I don't know. This is really bizarre. I can't see him doing that for any other reason. Although even when I think of it from that perspective, I still can't wrap my head around this. Talking about it like this could also help you in court. Like I can't. This is weird.
Destiny in his DGG chat saying he's not going to sue the hacker anymore. I'm probably not going to push it any farther since it's just bad publicity for me now. And Pixie is forcing us both to waste tens of thousands of dollars fighting each other now. Lol W. So I'm supposed to care about the sob story with Minx and Kiwi Farms hosting his nudes when he doesn't even want to pursue the culprits anymore.
It's incredibly...
Yeah, that's weird. You made a big deal out of wanting to sue Kiwi Farms and the people who like leaked it. You were all in pursuit of tracking down this hacker and the people that leaked it, and now all of a sudden you're dropping that because you're like, well, she's suing me, so I'm going to focus all my attention on that and just let the person who put me in this position, who might have actually broken a law, and just let them get away. That makes me wonder if the hack was even fucking real, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, there was a leak on Kiwi Farms, but was it hacked, or did the girl you share it with just get mad at you and leak it? Makes me wonder if the hack part was real. The leak is real. We know that. But did the leak come from a hack, or did the girl just share it? And then he found out the girl shared it, and instead of saying that publicly, he's just kind of sweeping the hacker narrative aside and hoping that everyone will forget about it. I don't know. It's not a good look. It definitely doesn't add credibility to your victim of a hack narrative that you're pushing.
Really bizarre how many people are fixated on insisting that I'm not a victim in this when I was the primary target of the entire revenge porn posting. While other people were undeniably harmed by these leaks, they were seen as collateral damage to the publisher of the material and the website providing hosting for it in the goal to attack me, whether it was through reputation, monetary harm, or just some other form of sadistic humiliation.
You were the primary target, but the collateral damage is because of you. Destiny never acknowledges this. He has the money to do it all. He's mad at Pixie though because in her story, he's not the victim. He's the bad guy. Now Pixie took him to court, and part of when you do that is you don't get an instant public facing apology. I understand that, but instead of staying quiet, Destiny claims he had implied consent because Pixie sent a video of herself with another guy before.
With that out of the way, conversations guessing as to whether or not any of the leaked material was consensually shared was a hot topic of discussion following the initial leaks. Pixie would send messages to people to tell them that she had never sent videos of other people to me before, and she portrayed herself in her Substack as though I was the first person to ever suggest this to her, and I was the first person she ever recorded material with. I know that she's messaged people with stuff like this.
To me, her lying about the nature of their sexting would only make her a hypocrite. It doesn't make...
I mean, it makes her a hypocrite, but it doesn't give you, like, implied consent's not a thing. Like, that's not how consent works. Like, either they consented or they didn't. It's not a, well, I think they would have, so I'm doing the thing. No, implied consent isn't a thing. Just because, like, so is his argument that, like, well, she shared sex tapes or, stuff that she did with other guys with me, and I'm pretty sure that she didn't ask those other guys. So if she's cool sharing stuff, she must be cool with me sharing her stuff. That's not how that works. That's not like you saying, well, like, two wrongs don't make a right kind of thing. That's like you going, well, my friend took something from my house. He stole my charger, so I'm pretty sure that he'll be cool if I just take this video game or something home and not tell him, and not, if I just take something from his house. Like, that's not how that works. You've still committed a crime there. You still stole. Like, you can't tell that to the cops. Like, you can't be like, well, he stole from me first. Like, that's not how that works. You don't now have implied permission to take things because your friend took something from you first. No part of this makes sense.
Makes sharing other people's nudes without their consent okay. He doesn't even know if she didn't have consent.
Pixie was comfortable sending me videos of her and other identifiable men with them.
Wait, so you didn't even verify if she sent you videos without consent first? You're implying the consent of the people in the video that sent it to her and her consent? How many layers of implied consentception are we on here?
Even having saved the videos on their own phones. I took videos of some guy, I can send you later if you're interested. Sure, I'll send them to you when I get them. At no point in any of these conversations did Pixie ever mention having...
Because if she gets any of these guys to speak up and just say, yeah, I don't care that she showed you. She asked me first. Yeah, like if any of them say that she had consent first, this makes you look horrible. And it blows your entire, like, defense out the window with this implied consent thing. It just makes you look like a guy who really should have asked, because you are. A guy who really should have asked before he shared it. Even if she shared something first. Like, this is a terrible look. How can he be so dumb here? Like, I can't, especially with an open legal case. Like, I would imagine everything he's doing would be in service of the legal case. Why would you not think this far ahead? Like, this is the worst narrative ever. I don't think that he honestly believes that any judge is going to give him an implied consent ruling and set that as a precedent. That can't be a thing.
Explicit consent from any of these other men to share these videos with me. I have no way of contacting them today to find out if she did. All this to say, consent was being reasonably understood by both sides of this situation.
What do you mean? How? He's assuming that she didn't have permission from this guy when he has no reason to believe that. And in what world does this give him consent to share her nudes? This makes no sense. This was the manifestos to end all manifestos. And it's literally debunked by his own logic in our interview. One of the leaks on Kiwi Farms was a blowjob recording that happened with a guy he met on Grindr. And the recording allegedly starts before he walks into the guy's apartment. And if you read the DM of Destiny sharing the video to Rose, he says, "This is just the end. Again, audio scuffed because my phone was in my pocket," implying that the video was secretly recorded. Here is Destiny's defense.
Well, why would he have it in his pocket and not record the thing with the video? It must be because he's not letting the person know. He's secretly recording them.
Yeah, sure. So let me preface this by saying
Wait, yeah, so is he going to say that guy consented to him recording the blowjob video? Where he's giving that dude a blowjob? Even though that video was taken from within, while the phone was in his pocket? Like, I don't think there's a way you can say that you had consent there. I really don't. Okay.
Only reason that recording that you're talking about is leaked is because I think all the girls that started messaging afterwards were like, oh my God, this might be non-consensual, blah, blah, blah. I think that group of people started leaking shit to Kiwi Farms of hookups that nobody is alleging anything wrong has happened. So it's very fucking annoying. And that what you're talking about, like literally audio, that entire thing is now just public for no reason. So that is revenge porn of me posted that everybody's just spreading because it's fucking epic and hilarious, okay?
That makes sense to me. If the guy involved isn't claiming wrongdoing at this point, who cares? It's irrelevant.
True.
That being said, generally with guys on Grindr, there are guys that I've spoken with and some people are like, hey, are you happy or are you comfortable recording stuff? Do you want to do video? Most guys aren't comfortable with video. A couple have been, obviously, hence my leaks. Some guys are like, okay, cool, you know, like audio is fine. I don't care as long as you can't identify it. That's why I don't even know how many of my things have been leaked at this point, but like it's pretty obvious the guy can like see my phone or he said like, oh, whatever. I think for that particular one, now I think this recording was like 5 years or 4 years ago, so I don't remember. But for this particular guy, he had said, listen, if you want to record audio, that's fine, but like don't pull your phone out. I don't want to see it. I'm like really paranoid about my face getting recorded. And I'm like, okay, I'll just probably start it before I come to the apartment or whatever. He's like, that's fine. Just like don't pull your phone out because that would like it's like he's just like paranoid about like me recording his face.
I don't understand the obsession with wanting to record it all. Like, do you not have a memory? Like, can you not just remember the good times when you want to jerk off? Do you need to like visually remember everyone you slept with? Like, I don't understand the need to record all your sex acts, but I mean, if he said he got consent from the dudes on Grindr and they're not speaking out to say he didn't, if like the only stipulation was their face wasn't in it and their face wasn't in it and then those are being shared and they're not calling foul, then yeah, I feel like that's a point that people just have to give him, because until like one of those guys speaks up to say, I didn't tell him he could do this, I didn't tell him he could share this, then you're kind of just making assumptions on behalf of another person.
Okay, so like, okay, that was the hookup story for that dude. But it's really gay to talk about this because, well, one, it's actually gay, but then two, also, nobody's alleging like any wrongdoing for any of these hookups. So it's like really weird that because other people are literally leaking and spreading revenge for me, and then they're having me like describe like this fucking hookup works, so I know it's consensual. Like nobody's even making an allegation of this. Like I don't know if this is going to turn into like every single like I don't know if people are going to start leaking every single video I've ever recorded, and they're like, I need you to explain to me like what was the nature of blah blah. It's like nobody's even making an allegation about this. Why the fuck are you talking about all my hookups? It's cringe and gross and weird. But that's my I mean that's for that. Yeah.
If he's not complaining about it, then how do we know?
Nobody else. Yeah. Nobody else.
Yeah.
Started. Yes.
But that same logic entirely debunks Destiny's implied consent defense for Pixie, because that guy.
True.
Guy's not out here complaining. In fact, Pixie claims she had consent from him, actual consent to send those videos. She writes,
right, because if he's not complaining, then you can go, well, the consent was implied. See, he didn't complain. But she is complaining. So now you can't say it's implied because she's making it obvious that it was not. Yeah, like it can't be both. Like it can't be both. Either complaining means no consent, or implied consent means you can't complain. Like it can't be both.
this is false. This guy was my ex.
Oh, I'm dead. Good luck.
Who consented to sharing. I was not recording random one-night stands. I'll be real, the DMs she links don't really prove anything, but then a guy named Tom asks, the question is whether or not you had consent to share the videos. She clarifies, I had consent, I believe the courts will exonerate me. So Destiny's entire defense of calling Pixie a hypocrite is debunked by his own logic. It comes off as incredibly desperate. She says, Destiny, you are now using intimate details of my life against me. I need you to stop. You've already shared some of my most intimate moments for the world to see. Why are
Yeah, you've put yourself in a position where you have to now debunk her in order to prove your claim, because she just came out and said, well, those guys consented to me sharing it with you, so I did. And now the only way for you to like have your implied consent thing make sense is to get in touch with those guys and verify her claim. So you're just dragging more people into this, and if they agree with her, then your implied consent logic goes out the window and you lose this. Like this is like, why didn't he just take his own advice of not speaking on it and just continue streaming and stuff business as usual as if nothing had happened and it would all blow over? Why does he keep talking about it? That's the part I don't understand. Like, I'm trying to wrap my head around it going, he seems like a guy who should be smarter than this. Maybe there's some grand plan where he thinks this will help his court case. But then the more logic you apply to the stuff he's saying, the more it seems like it'll hurt his court case. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Why are you forcing me to share more? Another defense Destiny alludes to in his response is that he was part of the scandalous videos, therefore that makes it okay to share. In a way, Pixie is kind of like the perfect victim.
It seems like she shared nudes with you. You shared them with the third party.
Good shit, congratulations. It's a nice backdrop for the content. Give me some W's in chat.
Yeah.
Give me some W's in chat. Co-star locked in.
Do it.
Co-star locked in, powered through the drama, and came away with a dub. Congratulations, man. All right, lock in because we got more coming.
Got started out strong.
Well, I'm locked into the content, but hey, casually winning in the background definitely helps. W's in chat for the win.
Something good. Had to do the gas mask rotation. They never even see me coming.
Or if you really want to gas this guy up so he gets multiple wins in a row, you guys can hit that donate button. I mean, I don't have any super chats or anything.
Just saying.
Yeah, I'm not monetized on these platforms, but there is a Streamlabs link and donations do show up on stream. I'm just gonna throw that
if you
out.
got a Prime.
Yep. Twitch Prime. If you got a free Prime, you can throw that my way.
Just free Jeff Bezos money.
Yeah, you can sub on Twitch or Kick. I would prefer Kick if you guys are going to sub, because Kick does a 95 split, so I get most of that money. Or if you just want to donate directly, those also show up on stream. Just throwing that out there. Okay, back to the content.
But if you're just going to waste that, Prime.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Feed a hungry streamer.
I got to eat, man. I got to eat. All right, back to the content.
That
I gotta pay a water bill.
It all leaks.
Wait, I want to clarify a couple things. Hold on, just real quick. I never sent nudes that somebody sent me to somebody else. I've never done that before. It's really weird. I've only ever...
Is he really making a differentiation between like nudes as pictures versus a sex tape? As if the sex tape's not as bad as nudes? People could just take screen caps of the sex tape to get nudes from it, right? That can't be what he's doing here.
Ever sent videos that I'm in. Now, sometimes those videos are with other people, but like in terms of me sending anything to another person, it's because I'm in it, not because somebody...
How does that change anything? If you're in a nude picture with another person, it's still their nude. I mean, yeah, your nude's there too, but it's still their nude. Like, you being in it doesn't take away the fact that they're in it. That's not how that works. I don't think anybody thinks that's how that works. What is this? I'll use some of his debate bro terms. Isn't this like a straw man? Bad faith? I don't know all the debate bro terms, but Jesus. Why did you even do this interview? Why are you doing any of this? If you've got an open court case, just shut the fuck up. I'm pretty sure your lawyers have probably told you to do that already. Just shut the fuck up. Just continue streaming Trump politics or whatever until the court case, and then talk about it after it's done, like a normal person. This can't be helping him. I can't even wrap my brain around how he can think this is helping him.
else is in it, just to be super clear on that. To some people that doesn't matter. For other people that's like a really big point, because when that post was written for Pixie, it was written like he wanted to show my body off and blah blah blah. That's not true at all. She's not even naked in that video.
That doesn't make any difference to me. He violated the person's trust in sharing the intimate video in the first place. Him being part of it or not changes nothing. It seems like the only reason he would bring this up is if he felt like there was some sort of legal distinction.
I talk about anything that's related, like specifically to any of the like causes of action.
And then you say if it can be allowed in the video or not. Because if not, I'm not trying to fuck anybody. Okay? You very much clarified you're part of these videos too. Guess what I'm wondering is, does that make a legal distinction? Is that why you clarified that?
There's two parts that are really important that I'm comfortable.
Okay, because that's the question I was asking, is does he must think that this makes a legal distinction? Because there has to be a reason why he's doing the things he's doing. I don't believe that he's doing it without reason. I mean, this is the guy who writes manifestos. I've seen clips of him and his little debates and stuff. Like, he seems like a pretty smart guy, and I imagine there's some overarching plan to this. One, I hope he went over with his lawyer, but let's see what the logic is.
Talking about. So for one part of a legal distinction here, and this is annoying because it applies legally and it applies morally, I think, and I guess it applies to the PR angle too. Like, I have never ever in my life tried to like shit on somebody by like sharing like a revenge porn thing of them.
I don't think anyone's accusing him of being malicious. I don't think that was ever the accusation here, which is seeming what he's trying to debunk here. Is he's trying to say that he had no ill intent. The intent doesn't matter. The action is what matters. It doesn't matter if you intended to hurt her when you shared it or not. The fact is you still fucking shared it without asking her. That's what fucking matters. Like, the intent doesn't matter. Now, from a legal perspective, maybe that matters, but I don't think it, like, the only thing I think that matters is like the severity of a crime. Kind of like first degree murder is murder with intent. Second degree murder is murder without the intent to kill. Like, you intended to harm, but you didn't mean to kill him, and it happened. It's still murder. Like, end of the day, it's like you still did the wrong thing. The only difference is the punishment that you're going to get. What degree of that wrong thing did you do? And I think probably the same thing would apply here to some degree. I'm not sure. I mean, this is civil court, but I mean, if you're talking a legal perspective, you do have to separate, and I know a lot of people probably have trouble with this. You do have to separate the moral argument from the legal one. from a moral perspective, I see absolutely no way that you can justify anything he's done. Like, I think he's just morally wrong, point blank, period, the end of discussion. Like,
the law doesn't protect your feelings.
Yeah, like, there's no way you can spend this where, even if you go with the implied consent thing, there's no way you can spend this where morally he's fine in sharing her nudes without her consent, or sharing her sex tape without her consent, since he wants to make that deviation. Or I'm sorry, their sex tape. There, I'll use the proper verbiage. I'll include you in it, Destiny. Even if I include you in it, I don't think from a moral standpoint that's still, there's no way you can spin that people are going to think that what you did was okay. Like, if you think the consent is implied, people are just going to say, yeah, it takes 2 seconds to text and ask first. That's all you had to do. Like it's the simplest step ever, and you not taking that. From a moral standpoint, it makes you wrong. So you have to separate that from the legal. From the legal standpoint, it's what he did wrong. And that, of course, has yet to be determined in court. But it seems like his logic here is, I didn't share her sex tape. I shared my sex tape. But who were you having sex with? So how the judge is going to see it, I don't think he's going to see it as like an individual sex tape. There were two parties involved, just like when when you post it up on the hub or anywhere else other than the private place you sent it. If you were going to post it publicly, he would have to have the consent and verification of all people involved in the video.
Yep.
Why would that not apply to a DM? I feel like that's the way a judge would read it. I mean, this seems like the simplest interpretation ever. But he's weak as this defense is. He's trying to make a defense here. It seems like he's arguing.
He can build a defense on it. Don't know if it'll be successful.
Yeah, it feels like he's.
Guess what?
Feels like he's arguing semantics here, really. And
I gained a kill,
or he's hoping he can get a
shortly after sliding.
Oh, I need to check and see if I'm getting those. Yeah, it feels like he's trying to get one of those winning by a technicality things.
I did it.
I don't feel like it's gonna work, but
I think I had a ground kilo.
Yeah, that's what I've been using. I've just been picking them up and using them. Honestly, I stopped tracking it, and if it happens, it happens. All right, let's get the rest.
It's literally my first match I've done. And I only had one yesterday, so I had to do it on this last one. Well, I only had the fucking ground one for 90% of the match up until the very end, and then I got killed. So then somebody picked it up, and then I found it on the battlefield, so I was using a ground loot most of the time.
Well, congratulations. All right.
So I'm just going to find a kilo on the ground and use the ground kilo and try it.
Let's see the rest of this.
Maybe it's bugged with loadout.
Yeah, maybe. All right, let's check the rest of this. Check the rest of this technicality defense he seems to be going with.
Talking about like the
literally done with the kilo. I have gold after that.
Because some people are saying like, oh, I was trying to like humiliate, like because I'm trying to humiliate. Like, no, I've never in my life have I done that. I would never do it. Well, I mean, there was 14 years ago with the one blue tea girl. That was shitty behavior of me for sure.
Blue tea was somebody that Destiny sexted and then shared their nudes with his buddies. At least according to Ryan Beard's video, an old forum post I could find online.
Just thought it would be funny.
It doesn't sound like he's here. We'll full screen this, although it seems like he's going to read it out loud for us. But we'll full screen this real quick. Oh god, I gotta take away the transition on that so I can do it faster. All right, long story short, Steven leaked nude pictures of me to his Skype friends. He then joked about how fucking hideous my face is compared to my beautiful body. They joked about how I look like Shrek. I do have a big nose, I guess. So he shares this girl's sex tape, not to show off his sex skills this time, but as a way to embarrass the girl. All right, so when I called it frat boy behavior, sharing it with your friends, that's exactly what he's done in the past. And I imagine that when we asked you earlier, like if you think normal guys do this, I hadn't even thought about the reason of doing it as a way to make fun of a girl. I don't see how, I guess I can see some frat boys doing that, but I don't see how that makes you look good because you're the one that's up with the ugly chick that you're showing off to your friends as being ugly. I don't know. This is so fucking childish. Just any way you spin it. This is stupid. Okay. But, I mean, I guess this helps your defense.
I do need to work on making education great again.
Jesus. Well, they're dismantling the Department of Education, so good luck with that.
Yep.
This is why my kids go to a Montessori school. Okay. Anyway.
To share this woman's private nudes with his friends and joke about how hideous her face is compared to her beautiful body. And he also insulted her because he thought she looked like Shrek. So he shared a woman's private nudes without consent for the purpose of degrading her. In response, Blue T hacked Destiny's Twitter and tweeted out pictures of his dick.
Those are bragging rights.
All right. TLDR, don't leak nudes of me because I will steal your Twitter and post your... Yeah, so then they hacked his Twitter and stole his nudes and she posted his dick. So no one went after legal action there. So I guess she had complied consent to steal his dick pics? Like, this is... Oh, why don't you just shut up? What are you doing?
She didn't deserve any of that. That was me being a retard or whatever. Like, I agree with that. But like, I've never in my life, like, I'm never like sending videos or pictures and like, oh yeah, this is going to humiliate this person. Huh? Like, that's just insane. Okay. That claim is insane. Nothing that's leaked from my logs implies that. I've never had a conversation leaked that implies that I would ever do that to somebody. Like, that's just wild. Yeah.
Just to be clear, these, because I have not seen the videos, just to be clear, there is videos of Pixies that were leaked. She was not aware that you shared these with Rose.
I can't speak to that. I will clarify one thing.
Fair enough.
It's video. It's one singular video.
The Blue Tea drama happened in 2012, and if he was caught sharing nudes then, and he was caught sharing nudes now, that means he was probably sharing nudes in all the years in between. In fact, right after the Pixie drama blew up in January.
I mean, maybe, but I wouldn't want to make claims without any evidence. I mean, that's an assumption. You can make the assumption that if he was sharing nudes and without consent in 2012, and he's doing it again now, then yeah, you could assume that he's been doing it the whole time. But also, why make an assumption without it? Yeah, like I don't like making claims without any evidence.
You know what assuming does, right?
Yeah, I don't like making claims without any evidence because it's quite possible that maybe these are just the only 2 times. I mean, you would have to establish that pattern of behavior first. I mean, 2 times isn't a pattern.
January, DMs from a girl named Hannah leaked showing Destiny seemingly still trying to share nudes, saying, oof, I guess now that some stuff is leaked, LMAO, if you want videos of me eating, I got them. She laughs and then says, haha, no, don't show me that. Those are super private. I can't imagine how it feels having something so private be public, even if you were poly. Now this is crazy because behind the scenes
what the fuck would being poly have to do with any of this? I mean, I don't have any poly friends. I'm not super familiar with poly people, but is that like a common thing that like it's just okay to share nudes of poly people or to share sex tapes of poly people because they're so open-minded or something? Like, I don't understand why make that delineation.
Pixie is saying he ruined her life and is posting her suicide note to him less than a month earlier. And if he was still doing this, that is psychotic behavior. Now, Destiny would claim that this was all just edgy jokes that took place when they were flirting. He deleted his DMs, so it's hard to understand the full context.
This is like half on the record, off the record. I don't give a fuck. Figure out what you want to put on. Okay,
well, hold on.
Half on, half off? I don't think that's how on the record works there, Destiny. Yeah, the more I hear him talk, the less I think he actually has a plan, and this is just kind of a crash out. Because you're just doing so much damage to yourself. Like, I don't think this isn't making you look the way you think it does.
A lot of dark humor, okay? I've made jokes about a lot of things that people come back and try to make me sound like a sociopath. Like, me and my kid's mom used to be physically abusive towards each other. And some people will link clips of me talking about it 10 years.
To each other? So you hit women? I mean, did she hit you first? I feel like this needs to be elaborated on. You're saying you and your ex-wife beat each other? Who beat who first? Or was it, like this time it was me, but the time before that it was her? Like, that's not a good look. Why would you say that?
Years ago, he said he used to choke out his ex.
Even if he went down to hold her to stop throwing shit instead of hitting her, I'm almost 100% sure everyone would be saying the same shit. He had to leave her. He is going, of course! Dude, I wish I would have filmed my shit with Rachel. I wouldn't have any fucking fans today because you guys would probably think I'm a fucking abuser too. Guaranteed. Because you better fucking believe I had to fucking choke her out a few fucking times. That shit got crazy. Hell yeah, it did. And I guarantee you that everybody here would probably think I'm a fucking crazy physical abuser too, sure.
And I'm like, I'm joking when I say this shit. Or people will say like, oh, Destiny's happy that his best.
Okay, so he's choking. So he didn't actually choke out his ex? What's the joke? What's the punchline? I'm confused.
Friend committed suicide when he was 20 because he jokes about it. It's like, I do joke about it. I joke about a lot of crazy shit. I've joked about Reckful killing himself. There's also a sad event. So me and Hannah had been chatting maybe for on and off for like a year. Had never been sexual ever. Not even remotely sexual and anything ever. And then as of like you have the dates on the messages. Was it like 2 months ago or 3 months ago?
It was, yeah.
I think she makes it. I think she makes a joke with about Merck. Oh, and she deleted all those messages. Very f***ing clever. But she makes a joke about Merck, and she's like, "Oh my god, I just saw you with that crazy girl Merck arguing with her." And then she's like, "Just so you know, I would never ever out any of your advances, LOL." And so when I see a message like that, I'm like, "Oh, that's a green light
That's it's implied consent, I guess.
to flirt, I guess." And then I think our next conversation starts getting more flirty. And then she makes a reference to something about like videos or like, oh, like, or something sexual or whatever. And I think I make the joke and I'm like, hey, listen, why are you looking for videos of me? They're still up on Kiwi Farms, LOL, which is true. But
Yeah.
like, that was the extent of my message.
I can't prove anybody right or wrong here because they both deleted messages. And to be fair to him, he didn't send anything. But if she said yes to the offer, would he have? That's up to you to decide.
Would never, I don't want to, I'm not going to drag any of these
Yeah, we're entering the realm of speculation on this one.
people, okay? But I will say, like, I don't want to do any, I'm not going to do any of this, okay? But like, there are so many girls that send me messages. I'm not even sure, but like, there's so many girls that send me messages like this when everything was leaking, okay?
Hold on, you just sent me some.
I don't understand. Okay, yeah, it was his Discord going off, not mine. I don't understand why he would even do this interview. Hasn't he like been the guy critical of other? I feel like I remember clips of him. Again, I've only seen Destiny and clips from other channels, so I could be wrong on things. Maybe he said things in his actual live streams that changed stuff, but I feel like I've seen clips of him where other people have been in controversies and they've done interviews or talked about it, and he was like, why would you ever do an interview ever? And like, it seems like he's making all the mistakes that like his advice would be the opposite if it were happening to somebody else. I don't understand why he's doing any of this. Why even have this interview? What did he think would come from this? Or how does he think this is going to be used? Like, I'm trying to wrap my head around the mentality, like put myself in his headspace. Like, why would you do? And I can't. There's no way. There's no angle I come from this at that makes sense. I don't understand what he's doing other than this. I don't like to call everything a crash out like the kids do, but I can't think of another way to phrase this. I can't think of another way to explain it other than he's crashing out. Like he's just losing it.
Something. Let me take a look. Would find the leaked videos if I'm sure if I looked, for science. Damn, so you're still getting fucking hit up. Even
Yes,
after
every
you've
time
been
something
labeled an
happens, yes.
abusive piece of shit. They're still trying to
Yes.
get
Yeah, gold diggers are gonna gold dig, man. There's literally nothing with the amount of money that Destiny has. There's literally nothing he can do that will lead to him not getting hit up by girls. He's always going to get hit up by girls because that divorce money is way, way too tempting. Like, they're willing to endure whatever thing, and they're probably hoping that he's going to do whatever bad thing he did in the past to them, so they had a reason to divorce him and get that. Yeah, gold diggers are going to gold dig, man. Gold diggers are going to gold dig. This is why, like, no matter how much bad shit comes out about people like Andrew Tate or, celebrities, if you've got enough money, there are girls who are willing to, if not hoping that. Yeah, well, there's probably girls that are getting with you hoping that the stuff
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, hoping that it's going to happen, hoping that the negative stuff about you is true, because cha-ching.
Yep, payday.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, just to give more context, like the environment is like everybody back here, not everybody, but like there's a lot of corny people. They say shit like this, or whatever. It's whatever to me. But like if a message of mine got leaked like that, or I guess like that Hannah girl tried to, and it even showed up in Pixie's complaint. He's still offering women. It's like, no, bro, people are hitting me up and they're like flirting with me or whatever. And I'm like, hey, listen, my shit's on Kiwi Farms, LOL. Like that's not like a sincere offer to send anything. And like my shit is still publicly hosted. So what the fuck do you want me to say? Like, yeah, but it's retarded. Like people think it way.
I'll give him that. Him like telling people that his shit's still up on Kiwi Farms. He's referring to leaks. He's like basically saying, I don't need to send you anything. It's already out there. Like I wouldn't say that that's him. Like there's people claiming that he's still sharing stuff to this day because he's pointing people to Kiwi Farms. I mean, it's still a bad look to point to Kiwi Farms. Why would you reference them at all? Why would you send people there? Why? Because you are bringing more attention to it. But at this point, it's already public. It's not like he's sharing it. They've already been shared. It's one of those things where it's not as bad. I mean, it's still bad. You're still pointing people to where they can find the thing that's been publicly shared. It's different than sharing it yourself, but still not a good look, even if you are doing it as a joke.
too seriously. Like, well, just as a quick example for that Hannah girl, right? This is a person I talked to for a year, no problems whatsoever. After she sends me that message, I find out like 2 days later, she's also in Jessica's server. And then she starts spamming my DMs with her into that server, like after deleting some of hers. And I'm like, what the fuck? Am I getting like set up by these like random women that I've never had a problem with in my entire life?
Now, I don't know why any woman would trust Destiny enough to try and hook up with them still after all this, but that is happening. Now, Destiny deleting DMs is interesting because Pixie's legal team has cited him doing this as a way to try and cover up evidence. On January 21st, 2025, aware of the impending lawsuit and potential criminal investigation, Bono starts destroying evidence, including deleting messages between him and the plaintiff.
Is this something you have done to try and hide or cover?
There's no way he's going to say yes to this, right? Like, there's no way, like, asking him directly like this, and I get it, interviews aren't WillyMac's thing. He's a video essay guy. He just, you know, he actually got somebody to agree to an interview, so of course he's going to take it, but asking him directly like this, of course he's going to say no. I mean, if it were me, I would have tried to phrase it in a way that would maybe imply the thing I'm trying to ask without asking it directly to see if he'll say yes to that, and then ask him directly, like ask it a different way first, and then try to lead into it. But let's see. Maybe he will just say yes to it. I doubt it though. Like that's just like basically saying I'm already giving up on this case. That's just giving her the win.
Her up. Anything?
What can I say publicly about this? This is what I'll say. Okay, I have a right to delete any message that I want ever. Okay. Number one.
He didn't say no. Going to point that out. If he doesn't say no in the next one, he's not saying no to deleting them for evidence. He's just, ooh, yeah, that's a bad look. When you're outright asked, are you deleting these to hide evidence, and your response is to state what your rights are instead of saying no, that's a bad look.
Number two, if somebody wants to talk about records for a court case, so for instance, typically when you file a civil suit against somebody, you'll send them like a request for a preservation of evidence. That doesn't mean I can't delete my message on Discord. It just means that I need to make a backup or an archive of anything that I have deleted on Discord that's not available to other people to make sure I have my own.
Okay, so the follow-up question now is, did you do that? Did you make a backup archive of the stuff that is being shared so that if the court needs it, they can access it? Come on, Willie. Don't waffle on this one.
I think that's a real person.
Records there so that I can send that if a request is made in discovery. I have complied 100% with any preservation of evidence request that's been made to me. 100%. So
did Sunday's video provoke you into deleting?
No, Willie, no. That's the next question. That's the next question. Do you have backups of this stuff? You ask that next. He led that for you. I think he probably wanted you to ask that question. That's the follow-up question. He opened the door for it. This is what I mean by Willie doesn't typically do interviews or debates. But, okay. I mean, he's still asking good questions, but the follow-up questions, like, he's leading you down a road. Go there and see where it goes. You know, this could help him, or this could be a situation where if you let him lead you, he'll leave just enough rope, you know?
More messages.
It was either that or before. Yeah, when people started to like taste like shit for me around, I started. No, actually, it was I think in December. I think I started running a redact across my whole fucking account. It took like a month or whatever to finish, but I like basically every message I sent before January 1st, I wiped from every fucking message because I was like, I don't know. Because my main concern, it wasn't actually even related to like Pixie or anything else, but my main concern was one thing that I didn't think about.
So one thing of note here when it comes to deletion of messages, me and Waffle actually confirmed this live on stream when he first released his manifesto, and we covered that, was does deleting the message also delete it on their end? Because that could be a point. Like, this is why I say it's not a good look for him to be deleting stuff like that, because this could come back to bite him, because we verified that deleting a message on Discord also deletes it on the receiver's end. So it doesn't just delete it for you and like, oh, well, they can still pull up the DMs and see the stuff you sent in the past. No, it deletes the whole history for both people. So if you sent a piece of media, because I sent him a picture as a test, and I had him watch his DMs, and then I deleted that picture in front of him, and when he refreshed his DMs, the picture was gone. So this whole thing could have been avoided if after he originally shared it with that girl, because remember, it's sat in her DMs for years. Like, he just, like, this didn't just happen. Like, This is older stuff. So it's sat in her DMs for years. All he had to do, I'm not even saying like him sharing it was okay, but what I am saying is like, if you were trying to be responsible and you believe the consent thing and your only purpose for sharing it was to show it to this one person and you wanted to make sure that no one else ever saw it, this is a point against you, because they could just say, well, all you had to do was delete the messages on Discord and that would delete it on her end. So let her view the video, and after she said she's viewed it and y'all's conversation that day is over, delete it after she's viewed it. So it's a one-time viewing thing. You know, kind of like Snapchat does. You send her the thing, she views it, and then you delete the message in Discord, and now it's gone. He never deleted it in Discord. So he has failed to, like, show his intent of, like, trying to protect her information, and, like, failed his intent of only wanting to show it to one person.
Behind us.
Yeah, I'm getting shot from both sides.
That I have to think about. When people interpreted this, I guess if you want, this could be on the record. I don't care. No, like this.
Everything you said so far regarding this, I'm assuming is on the record. Right.
Okay. When I sent that message to Pixie, and I was like, I feel horrible. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I've psychologically damaged you. You're like, this is horrible, whatever. I do feel horrible. It has nothing to do with whether or not I consented to send the video. I just feel horrible that something that I was involved in ended up leaking publicly.
So he's saying he preserved.
Yeah, he's doing the non-apology thing. Shit that my dad used to do. The I'm sorry you feel that way. He's not apologizing for the thing he did. He's apologizing for the way it made me feel. So that's kind of the cope that Destiny's doing here, which makes you look like an asshole, but it's not against the law to be an asshole. So I guess I see what you're going for. But yeah, he's basically doing the cope of, I'm not apologizing for the action. I'm apologizing that she's hurt. I'm apologizing to make her feel better.
I got somebody talking near me.
Yeah, it still makes her...
The deleted DMs for the court case only, but he's also
Yeah, it still doesn't look good for him. I broke my legs. Sorry, more focused on the content than the game, of course. All right. Anyway, continuing.
Contextualizing DMs of him admitting fault. If you remember, Destiny replied to Nick, I didn't admit to anything. Nick would reply with DMs of Destiny saying, yeah, I know, I have damaged her severely, seemingly acknowledging that he's the one responsible. He's now saying that this is not the case.
Like, even if she would have said, like, even if that wouldn't have been sent to anybody, if somebody would have, like, hacked my Google Drive, I would have said the exact same thing. Holy I feel so horrible. I'm so sorry. This is like terrible. Like, I'm sorry. You didn't deserve this at all. Like, this is really bad. I'm so sorry. Like, it has nothing to do with whether or not it's consensually. It just has to do with the fact that because of...
So he's essentially saying he's apologizing for the hack. So not apologizing that the hacker had the information because he sent it. He's apologizing that the hack happened. You didn't deserve to have your stuff hacked. Yeah, but you're the reason that it was there to be hacked in the first place. It's a weak argument. It's a very weak argument, but I think it's probably the only card he's got to play, other than silence, which is what he should be doing. Jesus, I don't know what he's thinking here. None of this makes you look good.
Like, whatever my actions or whatever, like at some point, like shit got leaked. But that being said,
that point is when you shared it. You leaked it. To be clear, sharing it without consent is leaking it. You did that. That was you. It being published was the hacker, but it being leaked was you. So we're clear on the since we want to split hairs on verbiage here, you leaked it because you shared it without consent, and the hacker published the thing you leaked. That's what happened here.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, well, I was going to say, that being said, one thing that I just, and maybe it was just me being stupid, but one thing I never considered before was, regardless of if I'm vetting people appropriately or not for setting material, I never considered what if somebody else gets on somebody else's account. So after stuff started leaking, like in November or like in early December.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I started to run a redact on everything because now I'm thinking, well, fuck, what if like a boyfriend, a sister, a father, what if somebody dies and like a friend gets a hold of their account and they log in and they see a bunch of explicit material? I'm just going to fucking wipe all my combos and everything because I don't want to risk like other people's shit leaking or my shit leaking as a result of that.
Did you delete anything in an attempt to hide stuff for the court case?
No, I have digital copies of everything. Like Redact literally has an auto archive thing, and Discord allows.
Okay, so he did ask if he has copies. All right, so he's saying he does have copies of everything. So he is clarifying he does have those backups, which is what he said would make this okay.
archive all of your conversations before doing anything. So I've complied.
Ground loot thing just didn't have enough ammo in the fucking clip.
Every court request that I've gotten, yeah. The fuck.
I feel like I've asked this before, but if you can't be on the record, fair enough too.
Sure.
But I just want to reiterate since we brought it up again. Did Pixie ever know you were sharing stuff with Rose?
Ooh, yeah, good question.
It's both of you, I understand, but that involved her as well.
For claims that are like, these are like the hyper-specific claims that this court case is going to deal with, I can't, on advice of counsel, I can't talk.
Yeah, he's not going to speak. That's a little too specific to it, because that's the exact claim being made in the court case. So that's up to the judge. Like that's just going to come out in court. Okay.
Talk about those things in particular.
Okay, fair enough then.
I will say that when we recorded stuff, I was either married to or I was engaged with Melina at the time. And so, I mean, at the very least, like that's one person that I'd be sharing stuff with that she would know, obviously, right? But
what is he on about? He's already.
So he's using that to like further his implied consent narrative that she's okay with other people seeing it because he was married at the time and she knew his wife would know that he was making this video and that she was going to see it. So there's at least one person that she knew it would be shared with, and she was okay with that person. But again, it being okay with one person, her being okay with you sharing it with your wife, doesn't mean she'd be okay with you sharing it with literally anybody else. It doesn't give you the pass. But that's kind of the narrative he's pushing here with the implied consent thing.
He said it. He's taking responsibility without taking responsibility. It's hilarious. If you're still defending Destiny over this Pixie stuff, why?
Like, this is really bad. I'm so sorry.
It's a good question.
It has nothing to do with whether or not it's consensually. It just has to do with the fact that because of like whatever my actions or whatever, like at some point, like shit got leaked.
I find it absurd that he's apologizing not for sharing the videos non-consensually, but for the hacker leaking them. Bro, the girl.
He can't admit to sharing them non-consensually because of the court case. Like, you're not going to get that out of him, Willie. Not directly. This is why I said, like, Willie's not a good interviewer because he's asking the questions too directly, and you're just not going to get a direct answer out of him. You have to ask around it, especially when you're talking to somebody who has an open court case like this. Now, I think he has said enough stuff that can be used against him, at least some of it. It definitely doesn't look good for him, but you don't have any... Like, he's not going to answer any of the direct questions that are related to the case. Like, that's just not going to happen.
Girls didn't want him shared in the first place. I can't get into it in the interview because he wanted all of that off the record. But it all comes back to this implied consent argument, which we've already determined is ridiculous. Now, I don't know what the result of their court case will be. If what he did was illegal, I'm not a lawyer, I don't know. But I do know that what he did was wrong, and that should be obvious to everyone.
From what I've read, because... Again, the law changed between when he shared it and now. So if you look at the law at the time, whether or not what he did is illegal can kind of be open to interpretation. It doesn't seem like the wording was very definitive. And then in 2022, in September 2022, they changed the wording on what constitutes revenge porn, like what you can be punished for, to be more direct. So now sharing it with literally anybody can constitute it, where before it just meant publishing it. But like what constitutes publishing? Would a hacker taking it and then publishing it? Are you responsible for that? Yeah, like it's a little more open to interpretation. So it is hard to say what a judge is going to rule here. But I don't know, like, do civil cases count as precedent? Like, can they reference? I imagine they could. Like, I mean, it's still a ruling. Even if it's not a criminal ruling, like, I imagine, well, maybe precedent isn't the right word, but I can definitely see this being referenced in, like, criminal revenge porn cases in the future that may be similar to this one. Like, it's definitely going to have some kind of effect.
I don't want to set the world on fire.
The biggest video to come out on Destiny was the content nuke by Ryan Beard, and I wanted to touch on the pattern of abuse he builds up in it. At some point, if you date enough girls that are crazy, at some point do you feel like you are the only consistent factor there?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, there's a lot of things about my life that's like super atypical that would draw those types of people and would induce that type of behavior as well. The issue with the video, like Ryan Beard's, it's Ryan Beard, right?
Have you watched it before we comment on it?
And I thought about, I watched it because I thought about, like, do I want to do like a long-term response and go through like every single claim? The problem is that, like, one, you're working with a full like 15 years of me having one of the most public lives on the internet. So basically any anything I've been involved in is going to be out there for better or for worse, sometimes in the worst light possible. That being said, like, I mean, there are things that I've done that are just like legitimately bad. Like, I shouldn't have done them. Like the Mia Rose stuff, that was bad. Like, I admit that.
The Mia Rose drama was in 2011. Destiny got drunk on stream and sexually assaulted Mia.
If I was a real friend, I would make you. Okay.
So I've never seen this clip. I didn't even know about this one. But I'm imagining they blurred the screen or blacked the screen out right there because Destiny probably just like reached over and grabbed that girl's boob without her consent live on stream because he was drunk. Doesn't make it okay, but I can't imagine. I imagine he probably has like some justification for it. Hey, maybe it was implied consent because you guys were flirty and friends, right?
Go. Go.
Does money do this to people? Is it the money that does it, that makes them act like total fucking frat boys? I mean, I feel like Hassan's always been a frat boy, but Destiny always seemed like he was not that. And then the more you learn about him, the more you find out like, oh, he's kind of had the Hassan frat boy behavior the whole time too. Is it because he's rich? Like, does being rich just turn you into a frat boyish asshole? Asshole? Is that what happens? I'll make fun of my lisp. Fuck you, chat.
Oh my god.
Listen, I'm gonna apologize.
Yeah,
to you.
say
There's
sorry.
So much
Get
tomorrow.
this.
I liked it.
Oh yeah, she was definitely not into it. That was definitely not implied consent there, Chief.
There was a time when I got like, it was probably one of the people say I'm like making justifications, but I'm not. Like, it was bad. But I got like super wasted for like the first time in my life on a stream. I think when I was like 22, and I was like grabbing me Rose's boobs when we were streaming or whatever. We were doing a vacation thing in like Utah. And it was bad. But I mean, like, I've talked to her since. Like, I've apologized. I mean, there's nothing else I can do. It's always like strange to me when people like Ryan will make videos and say like he needs to take accountability, and it's like this happened 13 years ago. Like, I've apologized. I don't know what else you want me to say. It's not like, I don't think it's good behavior. Like, obviously it was bad. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that.
And Mia, as recently as 2022, has corroborated this, saying, at the end of the day, he assaulted me, he apologized, and we left it alone. And the point of Ryan doing this was to show that Destiny has always treated women poorly. His best...
Yeah, it doesn't sound like he really wants... It doesn't sound like he was calling Destiny out to, like, say that he should apologize for something that happened 12 fucking years ago. It sounds like he's bringing up stuff from 12 years ago, from 5 years ago, from this time, from this time. It sounds like he's establishing a pattern of behavior, and that apologizing for the behavior doesn't make the behavior okay, especially if you didn't learn from it. Like, if you think the repercussion for the action is apologize and you're all good, then the apology is worthless. It's meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. The apology is just what you think you have to do to get away with it at that point. So he's establishing that pattern of behavior. How many of these videos, like Ryan Beard's video, WillyMac Show's video here, the President Sunday one, which was malicious right from the get-go. How many of these videos do you think will get shown in that court case? Because this is a YouTuber court case. It's between two YouTubers. Like, this is going to be a YouTube-centric court case. And it's not criminal, so I'm not sure it'll set any kind of YouTuber precedent, but it is definitely going to be a thing that gets referenced.
Best example that he brought up was Anna of War. Anna was somebody who hooked up with Destiny, and then they'd get into a fight, she'd cry on stream.
Steven, you lied. You lied and like you misrepresented so many things, Steven, and you know you did this. I mean, you've apologized to me in private, but you won't do it publicly.
So hold on. Stop trying to act like it's so much different.
You're very irresponsible.
It is, Steven. Don't pull this.
Destiny would label her as a stalker, like he can't get away from her.
Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. If anybody else here has advice, hold on.
Hold
on, Steven.
I mean, obviously.
Are you saying you're being held hostage?
Yes,
I told you what to do, bro.
John, I'm being harassed by an undefeatable opponent, right? You understand? She has nothing to lose. She can carry this out for the rest of her life, and there's nothing I can do about it.
But then in the meantime, he'd be sexting her.
He did stalk me. That she locked... Okay, then why are you
that's
sexting
not a
with
good
her
look
still?
for you.
We're cool. We've been cool for a year, Max. Okay, so you acknowledge that you've been sexting with her for a year.
Yeah, we've had on and off, sure. Max, can you acknowledge that I haven't said anything bad about her for a year? I've said we've been fine. I've said that over and over.
The last time I talked to you about her, like 2 weeks ago, or 16 days ago or something, you said that she locked you in the basement of her mind and it was a traumatic experience for you. Locked you in the basement of her mind.
In the past. In the past, Max.
Oh, is that the cope?
Okay.
Oh, God.
Why? Tell me, Max, why hasn't Anna come forward with any of this information now? Can you tell me, or do you want me to tell everybody why?
I don't want to speak on her behalf.
Okay, I will. It's because she said she literally wants to remain friends with me.
And after seeing this, it makes me feel terrible for Anna, who was crying about this very thing for years.
I've told you multiple times, if you don't want to be friends with me, then stop. But like, you don't do that. I've told you multiple times. Stop this narrative, Steven, of like, oh, stalker and stuff. You're the one fucking calling me princess.
Oh my goodness! Thank you for the raid, Cherry. Very kind of you.
Is that, huh?
Very kind of you. Hello.
Number 2.
Jesus.
I'm pretty sure
Hello, Cherry.
Is this what Destiny streams are? I thought he was a political guy. What is this? This is fucking Jerry Springer on Zoom. What the fuck?
Welcome, welcome.
It wasn't. It was like a
This panel is insane. Everyone's here to just suck up clout from this poor girl's mental breakdown. Now, Destiny claims the reality of this situation was different.
It's one of those things where, like, when you dive into the details, it becomes a lot kind of more murky and dumb. So, like, I think that the Anne of War story is interesting to look at. Like, people will make claims like, oh, like he was sexting her and then he was calling her crazy at the same time. People will compress time spans of like months into single days, where it'll be like, yeah, we might have had like a sexual conversation like in November, and then in like December she is like tweeting or streaming about me again on something that I consider like unhinged. I'm like, Jesus, this person's like unhinged. I don't know what to do. And we went back and forth like that, probably for, I don't know, man, maybe a year or something. Well, I don't know. Here, this is my take on this. Okay, so if you want to ask me after, maybe, I guess, but like, this is my thing. Anne of War was like 30 years old maybe, and I think I was 32 or 33. Like, we're both adults. Like, when people start applying terms like gaslight and crazy making and abuser, like, I think she had really unhinged behavior. She admits that she has OCD. She got medicated for it. It was better. Maybe there was like better ways that I could have handled the situation, for sure. Like, I think, especially in retrospect, and even prospectively, maybe there are better things I could have done. But it's like, it's two adults. The worst thing that ever happened here was, I don't even know what the worst thing is.
I don't think the fact that she's an adult was the problem with that. I think it's that she's clearly having a mental fucking breakdown.
Gas. True.
Yeah. I see it. I think the problem here is that this girl is clearly having a mental fucking breakdown, and the question is she having a breakdown because she's misread the situation, or have you been gaslighting her? Because gaslighting someone and then having them just scream the truth at everybody and no one believes them because everybody's believing the gaslighter can make someone normal look crazy. I can understand how that would be infuriating. So that's the real question, is now you've left it open to who's telling the truth. Who do you believe? Is the crash out because she's unstable, or is the crash out simply because you've been gaslighting her and you drove her to that point? Well, that's a good question. Those are real people. I got one though.
I guess like she became like obsessively streaming about me, and then I said she was crazy online. Like, that's it. I don't know how people have found a way to make this like one of the most abusive situations of the universe. It's like retarded to me.
You're calling her a stalker at the same time you're
because if you were gaslighting her the whole time, but secretly like if you're secretly sexting her in private, she's like, you made her a moped. Like, she's your moped. Like, she was fun to ride, but then your friends found out about it, so now you got to deny that you ever rode the moped. Yeah, she's a moped. She was your moped. That's what this sounds like. If she's not crazy and you were gaslighting, I'm not even going to use the term gaslighting. You were just treating her like a moped. Holy shit. Maybe she's not crazy. Maybe she's just a moped.
Texting her. I don't know if I want to say abusive, but you can see the emotional confusion.
I understand what I'm going to say, but like, this is, and I'm so sorry, like, I've been so gentle with all these online communities, but all of us are adults. We're 30 plus years old. Okay, turn off the computer. Like, I think this is so unbelievably overblown. Like, if you don't want to talk to me, or if you don't do anything to me, then just stop broadcasting about me, stop talking about me constantly. Like, that's it.
So I interviewed Anna, and she claims that he was sexting her and sending her mixed messages recently after she crashes out on stream.
Yeah, our fighting has honestly been like so on and off. Like, it's been so...
Why do you guys keep fucking sexting in between fighting each other? What is with that whole thing?
You know, it's really weird. I know, it was very toxic.
So was there anything abusive going on there?
So I used to say that I considered his behavior against me to be abusive. Now I'm not really so sure I would call it abusive. I felt like it was. I definitely felt like it was. At the time, it felt very abusive to me. I would say that he definitely mistreated me, but I don't know if I would go as far as to call it abuse anymore.
Was there times where you guys were sexting and it was cool as he's talking just mad shit on
Yeah,
the
I
stream?
do. I'm pretty sure there were. I mean, definitely, I am pretty freaking sure that he still called me crazy and stuff when we were sexting. I'm pretty sure he would still be on stream because, like, we are.
What's the difference between abusive and toxic? Like, what's the difference between abusive and toxic? I mean, it sounds kind of abusive, but I mean, I guess it would depend on what she was doing. I mean, she openly admits that she knew she shouldn't keep sexting with him if he's going to keep doing that. Like, at this point, you know what's going to happen and you just keep getting into it. So I guess it's not abusive if you're willingly walking into the thing you know will happen, so then you can't be surprised by it. Is it? Okay, I mean, it was definitely toxic, but it's amazing what the power of hindsight can do. I'm wondering if she's like downplaying it now or changing her outlook on it because they're still sexting right now. Like, I wonder if they're sexting to this day. Ugh.
Argued about, because wait a minute, hold on, we argued about it. It's all like coming back to me now. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're going back like what, 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we would have, because like we had fights about this, like, and him being like, oh well, you know, oh yeah, this one. Okay, wait, I'll send you one. Like him saying like he can't publicly defend me because he thinks it'll bring more drama or whatever. And
she sent me DMs of Destiny saying, it's just me being defensive, referring to when he calls her a psycho stalker. Here's Destiny saying, yeah, well, I can't publicly defend you because then it's obvious we're talking again. If I get defensive, that's the assumption people will make. So I have to act like I don't know why you're in chat. So he was just totally fine.
It's just moped behavior. Like, you're talking to this girl and just leading her on. Like, she has to know she's his moped by now. Like, you're the sex is too good for me to stop. I still want to keep banging you, but I don't want my friends to know I'm banging you. I mean, you're not attractive. Not as attractive as other girls I've had. Like, you don't meet my standards, but you're the exception to the rule because the sex is good. But we can't tell anybody. I mean, I guess at least he's being honest about the not being able to tell anybody. Most guys, when they get a moped, it's one of those things where you have to start putting the pieces together. Like, does he ever take you out, or do you guys only have home dates? No, he takes me out. When he takes you out, does he always leave town? Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, you have to start putting the piece together. Like, oh my God, you're right. You're right. He never takes me around anyone he knows. He never takes me around town. No places where he can be seen by anyone he knows. Ooh.
Fine with people thinking she was crazy as he's romantically involved with her. That would drive anyone insane.
Because it's obvious we're talking again, so he didn't want people to know that you guys were talking. But this is all the way in 2021. Did this go on for like 2 years?
Kind of.
This went on and off for 2 years?
Yeah, kind of.
Holy shit.
It's very much really like a toxic relationship kind of thing. Yeah.
You were a moped. She can't tell she was a moped. She's going to call the relationship toxic. She's coping. You're a moped. You must have been really good in bed, though. Most guys don't ride the moped that long. 2 years? Damn.
It really was. It definitely. Yeah. Except you guys weren't. Did you guys live in the same state, or was it all over online?
It was all online, pretty much. I mean, he came to visit me,
dude,
but
you guys were full on Zoomers, dude. You guys were Discord sexting before it was even a thing.
I know, basically.
But she went to leak their sex chat to prove that this was happening. Destiny would then threaten his DGG chat to leak her nude. Tell Anna if she leaks my sexting, I might have some pics to share.
But I genuinely was kind of scared of him. And when he blocked me, I was really scared that he was going to, like, leak my things.
What was the reasoning behind that?
Okay, so she was scared that there were going to be leaks.
It was because I was threatening to leak his sex. Because I was saying...
I see what Willie was going for there. But that was not the answer he was expecting. She was scared that he was going to leak stuff. And you're like, well, why would you be scared of that? He's trying to establish, like, is this a thing he's done any other time before that we don't know about? Like, is this a pattern? Yeah, he was trying to establish that pattern. But she said it was because she threatened to leak his own stuff, so that one kind of backfired.
Because I was saying...
What is going on over there, man? What are you guys all doing? What are you guys all doing over there? How is there always some
Yeah, I know. So the reason why I was saying, like, you know, I'm gonna have to like leak our sexting if you don't stop saying that I'm stalking you, because we literally have been like.
Wait, leak their sexting or their sex tape? Because if it's just their sexting or the fact that they're doing it, I don't know if that counts as her threatening to leak his nudes. She could just be leaking the convo and blurring the images to be like, yeah, this is where he sent a nude. I'm not going to show it. This just shows that he's still sexting me. That is different. That's a distinction. Because if his answer to I'm going to leak the fact that we're still in contact, and his answer to that was, well, I'm going to leak your nudes. Well, those are two very different responses.
Sexting, and like you're saying I'm a stalker, and people are like harassing the shit out of me and like doxing me, and like, you know, so that's basically what the context was. And that I was saying, like, you know, I mean, I'm not going to leak much, but I feel like I might have to leak some of our sexting or something to show people that like
okay, so she is threatening to leak the conversation, not the
The
nudes.
stuff Destiny was telling me of, oh, she just needs to be an adult and break it off. That sounds great on paper, and Anna to some degree acknowledges that. But you're also leading around while defaming her to thousands of people.
Call the situation like that I'm some manipulative, evil, abusive person. Maybe you could say I should have treated her like an actual child and said, no, don't do this anymore, and blah blah blah. But it's like, I mean, fuck. Like these are all adults, and the worst thing that's happening is like people shitting on each other online. Like this is retarded, I think. The only reason why people are trying to do this like Anna Voir situation where it is because they have this idea in mind of like, I'm like trying to lead her on privately in these crazy ways, and I'm like publicly lambasting her at the same time, and I'm playing this, I think Lav and Mr. Girl coined this concept of like, I get off on this sadistic abuse of women or whatever. But like that's not it. It's like, yeah, but it's like if you look, there's like tons of relationships, friendships, like friends with benefits, whatever, situationships where like people kind of like yo-yo back and forth at the end. Like they shit on each other, they get back together, they shit, whatever. It's like it happens. It's
those are called toxic. Those are toxic. Those are toxic. If it's both people. I mean, it sounds like you just thought she was a moped.
Who cares? Like none of this is that big of a deal. It's all like fucking retarded. Like this is stupid. Like I don't know, it's just dumb. And then people will say like that thing of like you're sexing and I'm calling.
Maybe not even a moped. It sounds like he wanted friends with benefits. He just wanted something casual, and then she got attached, and she keeps wanting a relationship. But you know that sex is too good, so he doesn't want to give it up. So he pretends like he's in a relationship with her, and then when she tries to make it public, he says no. So then in that case, it would be the gaslighting. It wouldn't be the moped thing. Sounds like it's leaning more toward that, which would explain her behavior, where she's like wigging out because you told her that you were going to be a thing, and then she got excited about that thing and told people about it, and then you told people she was lying. Yeah, I can see how that would drive someone insane and make them sound crazy.
Her like an abuser at the same time. Like, not really. There's like weeks plus between these events because for like a whole like 6-month period, there was a time where like me and Anna were like friendly, and then she would go public, and then she'd go on her stream and she'd be like, I think that Steven is lying about me. And then we'd talk a little bit, and then we'd be friendly again.
Good shot.
And then after like a few weeks, she'd be like, I think Steven lied about me. And it's just like, but it's her getting triggered by things in chat like over and over and over again. And people knew they could trigger her, so they would keep doing it. And then like we did that pattern for like 6 to 12 months. It was fucking retarded.
But if she's crying and at the same time you're sexting her.
I don't know if that ever happened at the same time. What do you mean by same time? These are like weeks. These incidences are happening like weeks
hard.
apart.
I don't know.
I'm getting caught up a bit in this interview. Whether it's days or weeks doesn't matter. He's sexting her, telling her to deal with the slander, and then when she goes to post proof, he's threatening her with her nudes. Some of the time periods between them sexting and fighting was only 2 days. Anna wouldn't call the relationship abusive in her interview. She says that it was toxic and that Destiny was right in the sense that she couldn't just move on. I love when people can self-reflect and take blame. Destiny doesn't do that with Anna. It seems like Destiny has a lot of scorned lovers that he then labels as crazy.
Yeah, she doesn't seem very crazy to me. It does sound like she's someone who was just being gaslit and like reached a breaking point. Because the more I hear from him, the crazier he sounds. And I get that that's the narrative being pushed, so I'm trying not to like hone in on it because I'm like, well, they are being selective with the clips. I've seen many clips where Destiny seems like a pretty intelligent person, but then when I weigh that against like his actions right now that he's doing on his own, where he's doing these interviews and saying all these things that are going to make him look worse, and like that doesn't line up with how intelligent like I thought he was. So now I'm starting to think like maybe you are crazy. Maybe you just like your emotions take over and all your intelligence goes out the window. Because when he's having a political discussion, he sounds like a pretty smart guy. But then when something like this happens, he just seems to like become a complete fucking retard. Like it just goes off the rails. So I don't know.
Crazy, but when talking to people outside of Anna, it just comes off as a bit silly to me. I talked to Lav, who straight up admits to spreading around revenge porn of Destiny on Discord.
I think it's funny that like the most disgusting guy online who like has tried to make my life a living hell for 2 years has like a disgustingness and it's leaked everywhere, right? So I was even like, you know, don't get caught leaking it, like, but obviously it's advantageous if it gets leaked. Like, obviously I want bad things to happen to this guy. And then I made a screenshot of the screenshot.
Now I've seen plenty of Lav. She does seem crazy. Well, did you ever call Lav crazy? Because comparing her to Anavoir, Anavoir seems like someone who just got gaslit. Lav does genuinely seem crazy though. Like I'd believe it with Lav.
I made the screenshot that Nico Sam sent me, like a grab of just the top of his foreskin, so that you couldn't tell if it was like, you couldn't tell what the picture was. My profile picture in a private Discord server. Now, there's like
She made his dickhead her profile picture. Okay, yeah, whoa. She is genuinely crazy. She zoomed in on a picture of his cock and made that her profile picture. But hey, I did it in a way where you couldn't tell it was his cock. I hate to go
debate about like how private a Discord server is, right? It had maybe 20 active users and none of them were like DGGers. It wasn't like a DGGer offshoot server. It was like, and I never said that it was like, I mean, my friends knew that it was Destiny because I told them that it was, but it wasn't like widely known that I was like leaking this, right? Nico Sam had told me that Baby Peach had...
No, that's what you did. If you made... It doesn't matter how zoomed in it was. If his penis picture was your profile picture in a Discord where everyone could see it every time you type a message, whether you sent the picture or not, yes, you leaked his penis picture. It's your fucking profile picture. That still counts.
Had sent it to several people and that the sex tape was already leaked. So I just didn't... I did not think that, like, this was something that, like, he didn't want going around.
No, he probably loves that you shared that. Just call it implied consent. She wrote to me how Destiny would make her send her feet pics to get airtime on his stream, and how he made her out to be crazy and called her...
He's into feet? He's into feet? I didn't know he was a foot dude. Okay, I mean, it is coming. It is coming. It is coming from Lav, so take it with a grain of salt. But I'm not putting it past him with all the other weird shit he's into. Just, I'll let you on my stream if you send me feet pics. Isn't this like the same thing you like? I remember seeing a clip of him like going off on those fucking there's fucking red pill guys for this shit of like them wanting nudes or access to OnlyFans or girls to sleep with them for appearances on the podcast. Isn't he exploiting them in the same way, or at least a similar way? Maybe he's not asking them for sex in return, but hey, we're not through with this. Maybe that'll come out later. I mean, if he's asking for feet pics, maybe he'll ask for more.
They're mid-Jew. I've heard from multiple sources this Lav story. The only one on the record was Destiny, though. But he tells pretty much the same story, and it's hard for me to tell if this is a story of abuse or just two scorned ex-lovers. Kelly Jean is somebody that I've talked to, and she was very upset because you, in statements I asked about in my first video, you kind of like brought her in with Lav as somebody who was part of a Discord that shared your nudes. And now Kelly claims she wasn't ever part of this Discord, but Lav has very much admitted that she did engage with revenge porn of you. It is undeniable because she has bragged about it many times on camera. Even when I messaged Lav on my own, she was very upfront about it. Kelly says she wasn't. And
Kelly might have said she wasn't, but she knew about it for sure. She knew about all of it. And she remained friends with Lav and continued to chat with her throughout all of it. But, you know, just saying.
So I asked Kelly about this.
Wasn't in the Discord, so I don't...
Yeah, you're saying you weren't a part of any of that.
No, not even slightly. And the first time Destiny has alleged this was about 2 weeks ago, around the same time that he messaged you by the looks of it.
He followed up with him clarifying what he said about you. And he sort of changed his statement to be more of a guilt by association thing, claiming that you hung out with Lav a lot, who absolutely maliciously did do this.
So that's not true. The only place that I ever interacted with her is in Gisticle's Discord.
So you're not really friends with Lav. He's grouping you in
unfairly.
No, I'm not. What I did say publicly quite a few times, and even recently probably, is I think Lav is great content, right? So I'll say like, I miss Lav, or I want Lav.
Yeah, I've heard her say this stuff on, I don't know. I never got the feeling her and Lav are friends. I've seen Kelly Jean enough on Gisticles VODs and stuff where it seems like she just thinks like Lav is ripe for content. Like you can just milk her for content because this bitch will say crazy unhinged things and she's entertaining on camera, so you can just milk her for content, which, I mean, she just had an interview with Willie, and yeah, she said a lot of crazy unhinged things. So
back there.
So that changed it. So that checks out. So that checks out. All right.
They all got to run this way. They're all fighting right there, buying back and shit.
All right.
And she's not boring.
They gotta run this way.
But that has no indication on our closeness or friendship, right? Even if I was, like, what difference does that make? A lot of people are friends with Lav on Discord, including like a bunch of other orbiters, and like.
Yeah, when he says friends too, does he mean like they're actual friends or they're Discord friends? Because her adding Lav on Discord doesn't make them friends. I mean, I guess technically it does. They're Discord friends. She's on her friends list, but it doesn't make them friends.
Like, who cares? It's like.
Well, I think the point he's trying to make is just some hypocrisy note, because there is a video that I see that is uploaded by a channel called Ryo Kitten House, where it's Lav bragging about sharing Destiny's penis around. Kelly never really responded to me pointing out the hypocrisy of it. She just says Lav was banned and unbanned and it became content.
I know that she got banned from Gisticles Discord, and then there was like a rule in place. She came back, but it was under like the preface of you're not allowed to talk about this banned topic. And then, yeah, I think this is also on Ryle's YouTube. I don't know if you've seen it, but she was in like a bunch of calls like towards like the early part of last year where it did get brought up. And then they had this debate back and forth about whether his dick is ugly or not.
I have not watched that. This is such weirdo territory. Like, what's my take supposed to be? Lav's a hip.
So we didn't even argue about the dick pic. We argued about whether or not the dick was ugly in the dick pic. What?
Hypocrite, is Kelly supposed to be more mad at Lav? Am I supposed to say, Destiny, how dare you call Lav mid-Jew pussy? Did you call Lav mid-Jew pussy?
All right.
Oh my
God.
God.
I did. Fuck yeah, I did. Fuck that.
That was
she killed herself.
My head hurts after watching that.
Is there a thing where Lav wouldn't sleep with you, so you decided to start like a crusade against her where you talk shit about her and are negative towards her?
No.
Is that a yes?
I said no.
Okay, but then he tells their story of them hooking up and they're falling out, which I end up hearing from like 3 other people. I just don't think any of this is that important.
And we just like chatted a bit on Instagram. And then eventually we chatted a bit on text. I don't think it was ever really sexual. We got like somebody to chat with. I think at some point we make plans to like hang out in real life, with the implication being where so we get to a point to where she wants to go to a hotel. I think I fly to California. I'm like, okay, fine. And then I'm kind of tired though. I don't know. She's like, oh, let's go to a gas station. We get a Red Bull. It's cool. It's whatever. It's like, okay, whatever. Go to a gas station. I grab Red Bull. She's whatever. Eventually we get to a hotel room. I'm like, just because you know, like obviously none of that affects this. Like I don't care about any of that or whatever. Just in case, like I wanted to clear the air there. And then she messages me back jokingly, and she's like, oh, I thought I had to fuck you to come on, ha 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 ha. And it was like, okay, whatever. So like we had that conversation, but she says later on with Mr. Girl, she's like, the only reason
doing with this edit?
That message was so that it seemed like it was okay while he was secretly manipulating me. That's just been their thing for like 3 years, and that's like the abridged version of our time together.
When I told Destiny, if you have one crazy ex, that means you have a crazy ex. But if all your exes are crazy, that means you're the problem.
It's the same thing you would say to a girl. I can't count the number of girls I've seen where they're like, I hate men. Every boyfriend I get does. Yeah, and at what point do you recognize that, sweetie, maybe it's not the men. Maybe it's you. Or at the very least, your taste in men. Which I think, to Destiny's credit, I have heard clips where he has admitted that he has a thing for, like, crazy bitches. For BPD girls, as he calls them. But, I mean, that can't be, like, the only thing you're attracting here. Like, at what point do you go, maybe I'm the thing driving them crazy?
Responded with, yeah, I know it seems like all of my exes, but I bang so many women. In reality, it's actually a tiny percentage. What it feels.
Oh, there we go with the frat boy behavior again. Look how big my dick is. Look how many notches are on my bedpost. How many you been with, bitch? What's your body count? Like, all the stuff he's made fun of the Red Pill guys for is the immediate place he goes when he needs to defend himself is to just do the stuff that they do. It's wild. I don't think I've ever bragged about my body count or whatever. Like, that just doesn't come up. Mainly because I don't know what it is. I didn't count.
Feels like you are implying at times is like, look, I've hooked up with a ton of girls, and most of them there is no problem is all. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's his defense.
Okay, is there like a...
I fuck a lot.
This is so... that I'm even asking this. Is there... What is the percentage of girls? I guess is what I'm asking right now. That are...
I mean, that's the topic. If you're going to do the interviews, man, you got to lock in. Sometimes shit gets crazy. Sometimes you got to ask stupid questions. Sometimes you got to argue about dumb shit that sounds stupid. You're right. But, I mean, if there are claims made and it's the topic at hand, if you're going to be the guy interviewing them, you got to give the people what they want. And you got to get the answers to those questions.
Fucking butthurt as opposed to go on, fine. They're like, yeah, I hooked up with Destiny, no big deal.
I'm laughing because it's a ridiculous question, but it's genuinely his defense.
Because obviously those girls are never going to complain. We aren't ever going to know Destiny hooked up with them.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like 1 to 2%. I don't know, like that's... But every single person that has problems with me...
So you're hooking up with that many girls, though, is what you're saying. You're all the time.
Listen, okay? The past year and a half, I've slowed down considerably, okay?
Because of the vibe.
Because of the vibe.
Yeah, kind of. People like presented this as like some weird thing that like, oh, I took vitamins to kill my sex drive. It wasn't that. It's just that I took it. I'm like way more focused on work.
I guess that makes sense. If the numbers are truly that high, forget if anyone's crazy. I'm passing the ball to other content creators on that. I just want to focus on the allegations. The allegations from Cherry about Destiny.
Yeah, but this leads into the allegations. Like, that's the problem, Willie, is if you're going to do this kind of content where you dig deep and you go into the interviews and stuff, the stuff around the allegations is like, if it's allegations adjacent and it can help, then you got to dig in. Like, part of being an interviewer is you can't be uncomfortable by the questioning. Like, you have to be able to approach uncomfortable questions because that's how you get to the truth. Like, you just have to be able to have uncomfortable conversations. Like, you can't become emotionally invested in the interview itself or the interviewee.
Secretly recording her, had some doubts behind them because nobody had seen the recording. He claims he had consent to record. She said she didn't. We need the courts to figure that part out. So I asked Cherry if I could get a copy of the police report she filed because that would at least prove that something exists. She said no because she didn't want to risk getting doxxed. But now we don't need that because the recording was recently posted to Kiwi Farm. Kelly Jean sent it to me and it opens up with Destiny starting the recording, putting the phone somewhere, and then sitting next to her on the bed.
Okay.
How's it going?
Bro, this does not sound like she would be aware of this, but I guess...
Yeah, definitely does not sound consensual. I'm confused. Which state was he in at the time? I don't think Florida is... Like, that's another thing, like, people tend to forget and don't do is you have to also, like, be cognizant of where someone is. Because some states are one-party consent states. Some states are two-party consent states. So if he's in a one-party consent state and he's hiding his phone in his pocket in order to record a conversation that he is a part of, that is totally fine. I'm in a one-party consent state. I've done it all the time. That's for my protection. But if he's in a two-party consent state and he's doing that without asking, well, now there's a problem. So context matters. That's all I'm saying.
We don't know for sure. Now, during our interview, he kept the Cherry stuff off the record, but this recording came out afterwards, and when I asked him about it, he gave me a response. But never a straight answer on whether or not he had consent to record it. Saying, no, WTF, we were in my apartment the entire time. She was literally staying over. I asked, is there a reason why you would be recording in your pocket with Cherry? He responds, I never was, LOL. The phone was sitting on the bed or on the nightstand. That doesn't answer anything. Do you have consent or not? We're just gonna have to wait and see if the police report turns into anything, because he won't say, which, you know, fair enough. I did find it interesting, though, that when I asked Anna if she ever received nudes of other girls, she said yes. Have you ever been sent videos of him and other people where they didn't consent to the videos?
So I've been sent videos. I have no way of knowing if they were consensually, like, recorded or sent.
Can you say who was in them?
Sorry?
Can you say who was in them?
I didn't know the people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
I saw faces, but like I didn't know who they were.
Yeah, you have no idea who it is.
Yeah, and so like, when this stuff came out, I was kind of like, oh shit, uh-oh. That means that, what if they like didn't consent to that being sent? Yeah. So that was a little disturbing, of course, to realize. Yeah, and
I mean, you probably should have asked after being sent, like, hey, did they say it was okay to send me this? Anytime you see another person in the video, sounds like that's something she should have asked instead of wondering about it. But
I mean, I came out like kind of supporting Pixie and like and Cherry, of course.
Were any of those girls? Well, I guess you wouldn't know if it's Pixie or not, right? I don't know if the.
I have no idea.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I got anything about like from any of Pixie's stuff, basically, or Cherry's stuff, because like I said, I didn't know who they.
So she's saying she got other girls' stuff, but she didn't stop to ask Destiny when Destiny was sending her this stuff. Like, hey, did these girls say you could send me this? Like, why does no one ever think to ask that? They just look at the video of him and another person and go, "That's kind of cool. Your dick looks weird," and then they go about their business. And they don't even ask about the girl. That's so weird that so many people get this. Like, if you send it to so many people, it's so weird that no one is asking about the girls. Like, everyone just like, it's okay. I mean, I would, but.
Were.
And that just makes me wonder, was this actual consent or more of that implied consent?
Yeah, like all these questions could be answered if one single person he sent this stuff to followed up with a, did they say it was okay for you to send me this tape? I mean, I know you're both in it, but did they say it was okay? Because then at least you have on record whether or not he would admit to there being consent or not. Or if he would lie about consent. Yeah, like then you'd at least have something. I'm just shocked, like, of all the times that he's supposedly sent this stuff, no one stopped to ask that. It's a little weird. Weird.
When Destiny was going through the Anna drama, he'd tell people to go talk about it on her Kiwi Farms. Her Kiwi Farms thread also hosted her docs. And Ryan Beard made the point that sending people to her Kiwi Farms is effectively just spreading her docs.
And he encouraged them to post in her thread.
Oh, okay. Also, heads up. This is my only non-media blackout time, okay? This is my only non-media blackout time. I will immediately back this, okay? Somebody...
Okay, so that's a good question. I'll ask you, Enjoy, for your normal person opinion. All right. If you know that someone has porn online, posted somewhere publicly, like let's say the Hub or something.
Yeah.
But they don't advertise it. They don't tell other people that they have it there. They just put it there. You find it. If you tell other people it exists, even though it's publicly available, are you spreading their porn?
Yes, but not in a bad way because they.
I mean, not in an illegal way, but you're bringing attention to it, so you would consider that spreading.
The legal way is called promotion.
Yeah. But legal stuff aside, let's just say that, just from a moral standpoint, would you consider that sharing it because they have it publicly available, but they're not telling people about it, they're not advertising about it. You know, they're just doing it. But
I do consider it that then, yeah.
But you're bringing attention to it with people they know. Yep. So, okay, so you do consider that spreading it. Because that's basically the question being asked here, but not with porn. So Destiny's his argument here is he did not spread someone's docs because their personal information got leaked on a website called Kiwi Farms. And he says, I didn't spread her docs. It was posted on Kiwi Farms. And everyone's argument is like, yeah, but you told your chat where they could find it. So true, you didn't put it there, but you told people where to go look for it. So isn't that the same thing? Isn't that you spreading it? You're basically pointing to it and going, it's over there. Just go over there. Just go over there and look. When you could have said nothing and people wouldn't have known it was there. Yeah, so I agree with you. That's one of those semantics things where it's the same thing but not really. Yeah, it's the same. If you told somebody where to find something that they didn't know existed on a website that's not super popular because not many people know Kiwi Farms even exist unless you're in one of these spaces, and you just start like shouting it to your 30,000 viewer stream, yeah, I'd say you brought attention to it. Yeah, I'd say you shared her personal information. Even though you didn't legally share it because you didn't put it up on Kiwi Farms, you shared its location. You shared where to find it. Different, but not really.
On Kiwi Farms has made a thread of Anna. So if you are obsessed with Anna and you want to talk about her all the time, you, chatter, you can actually go to Kiwi Farms.
This is pretty blatant.
And you can go and post all you want, read all you want. Go there, post about it, talk about it. People put a lot of effort into categorizing and archiving.
And he's laughing about it because he knows a ton of people are going to go there. Yeah, this was the intention. The intention was to dox her without doxing her. He didn't share the docs. He didn't share her personal information, but he shared where to find it and then laughed about it. Again, different, but not really. Yeah, this is... I'm sorry, it's the same thing. You shared her docs, dude. You fucking shared her docs, dude.
Everything. There you go, okay?
And in the thread about Anna that Destiny encouraged his fans to go message, they doxed Anna. In response to this, Anna texted Destiny, "You literally ruined my fucking life. You just doxed me on your stream. F you. You put me in danger." And Destiny responded to this by saying, "You're doing it to yourself and you're going to keep doing it to yourself."
And recently, Destiny has also called for the...
Wait, how? Did Anna post her docs on Kiwi Farms? Did Anna tell your chat to go to her Kiwi Farms thread? How is she doing it to herself? Not wrapping my head around the logic on that one. Like, how the fuck are you going to explain your way out of that one, bud?
The docs of some of his biggest detractors. He asked, is Queeman's full docs public yet? At another time, he was calling for J-Stocks.
It's how many people around this person can we harass or can we dox or SWAT or whatever? And like, that's just the goal for all of it. It's pretty cringe. It's pretty gross. I expect the behavior from Kiwi Farms. It is what it is. Like I said, communities like that will always exist, but it's really gross when people like Gisticle, whose information I hope I can find soon, are like trying to amplify or put a magnifying glass on info over there and then have it spread into the other world. That's just wild to me.
So I asked Destiny about it, and this is what he said.
People accusing you of doxing, right? Because you're referring to Kiwi Farms. Ryan did this with Anna, and then J-Stock is doing this. Queeman is sort of doing this where there's DMs about you saying like, hey, I wish this person, has this person been doxed yet?
Yeah, for Anna, that's bullshit. For just doing like Queeman, I'd kill him if I could. I'd choke the fucking house into it. But not for Anna, no.
We'll get back to the death threat in a minute.
I'm sure he's going to say he was being hyperbolic there or exaggerating for effect to show his anger. I don't think he really meant he wanted to kill them. That'd be a wild thing to make a death threat while you have an ongoing legal case about something adjacent to this. But okay. Okay. Yeah, and then asking for someone's docs. Why would you even want that information? Like, what are you going to do with it? Like, there's no reason you should need another streamer's who's made you mad. There's no reason you should need their home address, their personal information, unless you're planning to do something malicious with it. Like, there's no way to spend this. It doesn't make you look... why do you just stop talking about this shit, man? How hard is that? This is the advice you would give anybody that came on your stream with an ongoing court case. I've heard you give this advice to other people in clips. What? Just take your own advice. Shut the fuck up. I don't understand. Why is this what you're doing? This is so self-destructive. It makes no sense.
I just want to address Anna's point of view.
And it's you saying like, you doxed me on your stream because your dox was on Kiwi Farms, allegedly. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah.
You ruined my life, right? So do you think what he did there was him maliciously doxing you?
I think it was malicious because, again, we were having a fight. It was over. I don't remember what the hell it was over.
Yeah, one in a dozen, huh? Between you two.
Yeah. So the source of our, well, first, like, yeah, I do think it was malicious because he was pretty angry with me at that time. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he basically said, like, go to her Kiwi Farms page, specifically page 4 or whatever, which was where my docs was. And yeah, so I was
Did he
very
give a page
upset
number?
about that. I think he did.
I don't...
Okay.
Actually, I'm not sure. either way, I felt like, you know, oh my God, this is basically doxing me.
Yeah, if he gave a specific page number, which you know, he didn't. If he did, he didn't play that clip. But I don't know if Willie went looking for that clip or not. You can have the most funny phone. Yeah, I'd argue it's doxing even if he didn't give a page number by just giving them the website of where they can go search her name and find it. Like that's just because you didn't do all the steps for him doesn't mean it doesn't count. I'm sorry. It's still doxing. It's still doxing. If you're telling people where to find the docs, then you're doxing.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Because he told people to like, go there and talk about me and stuff like that, make accounts, things like that, and yeah, I felt like
he obviously, when I asked him about this, framed it in a not a malicious way, but
interesting.
whether he's naming the page number or not, which is obvious.
Her reaction to that is telling. Her reaction to that implies that he knew it was malicious. She knew it was malicious and that they've talked about it before. That, like, they were on the same page about it being malicious and they've gotten over it or they've talked about it or she was, you know, water under the bridge at this point. Like, they've worked through it. And now he's saying the opposite. And she's like, that's interesting. Having to kind of read between the lines with Anna here because it seems like she's got all this behind her and she's not trying to dredge it back up. So she's not currently mad at him or anything. So she's just it seems like she's trying to sit on the fence and stay out of it. So you got to kind of read between the lines a little bit is what I'm picking up here.
Obviously, he's framing it as not malicious, but if your docs is on there and everything, well,
yeah, I mean,
you know, it comes off that way. It feels that way.
It definitely does.
I would interpret it that way myself.
yeah, especially since we were literally still sexting at that time.
According to alleged text messages only 2 days before. And it's not just me who interprets it that way. Destiny interprets it that way. J-Stalk and Queeman sending people to his Kiwi farms is why he wants them dead.
I'd kill him if I could. I'd choke the fucking house into it.
I shared that clip of the interview at the end of my I'm Alex video. And this is how Destiny justified it when he was asked about it on stream.
If you were like obsessively posting and directing people towards doxes of me, my family members, and all this shit, I have no care in the world for you. I will never have any care in the world for you. And I will gladly and fully admit that.
So he didn't say doxing. He said directing people to my docs. So we're really getting the rules for thee and not for me vibe here, because that is exactly what you did to Anna. And you didn't consider that bad at the time. And now that it's happening to you, you were making death threats and like just completely crashing out over it. Is this just like a political space thing? I'm not a real political guy, but like the Hassan fans do it too, like both sides. Like the thing that they criticize each other on, they all seem to do, which is the rules for thee and not for me thing. Like, I guess it just depends on the topic, huh? Jesus.
I don't know what you want me to say.
That's the exact same reason Anna was upset with you, but you called her a liar. I'll play his justification anyway.
She says like, hey, this ruined my life or whatever. Steven, you ruined my life.
She's lying when she said that. That's bullshit. But what happened was, again, the pattern with Anna was if anybody would bring up anything about her that she felt was wrong, she had to go live and correct the record. And the frustrating thing for me, and I'm sure you've seen this happening right now, is what people will do is people will pretend that they're not getting info off of Kiwi Farms, but what they do is they get info right off Kiwi Farms and then they chat about it in Discord or they talk about it on my chat. So I was getting frustrated and I told my chat, I was like, listen, if you guys want to talk about it, go at Kiwi Farms, whatever, get the out of my chat, don't talk about it there.
That was not an effort to dox her is what you're.
Yeah, but you're still sending them to where the docs is. Like, you had to know you were doing that. Like, you know what Kiwi Farms is. And you know why these people are talking about it. And all you have to do is ban them from your chat. Like, all you have to do is say anyone talking about stuff from Kiwi Farms in my chat. If I catch you talking about any of that information, it's an insta permaban. So don't talk about this shit. Like, you don't even have to say the Kiwi Farm things, but anybody talking about Anna, anybody talking about doxing, anybody talking about anything related to personal information, you don't even have to say the name Kiwi Farm so that people might look it up and find it. Like, there's ways to protect that information. You made no effort to protect that information at all.
You're saying?
Yeah, no, what the fuck? Like, why would I even want to do that? Like, what am I, want somebody to kill her or what? Like, that's hard. I do want somebody to kill Gisticle, though, or Lav, or Mr. Girl, or Queeman. Those people can all die, but not Anna.
In a video game. Oh, wait, he didn't say that part? Okay.
No.
Since you do want these fucking people to die and they fucking suck or whatever, according to you. I mean, I think they're fucking annoying too. When you're saying these things, it is with malicious intent. You just genuinely don't care. Like, fuck them.
Yeah, not for Anna. That wasn't the
Not
case for Anna. People were already going to her thread and they were bringing stuff from her thread.
He's still fucking Anna. Or he still wants to fuck Anna. That's why she's getting the pass here.
Into my chat. And I was like, listen, if you want to talk about it, like, it's not like her thread was unknown and then I all of a sudden publicized it. It was that people were going to that thread and then talking about it in my chat. I was like, listen, go to Kiwi Farms, talk about it. Don't talk about it in my chat. Because if you say it in my chat, she's going to see it and then she's going to want to correct the record on it. And I don't want to be part of this bullshit. It's fucking driving me crazy. Yeah.
But with J-Stock and Queeman, fuck 'em.
The reason why I hate these people is because they're taking part in this thing. Bro, I swear to God, if I quit streaming, I'm going to fucking go on an assassination mission, okay? These people are going to start disappearing one at a time, okay? The thing that it's disgusting to me is that because they don't get a rise out of me and they don't get a reaction out of me, they start targeting every single person around me. Blavs, if you go onto my Kiwi Farms thread and you look at, there's like 15 different sock puppet accounts that are all this guy. He is saying it explicitly. He will say, I am doxing this girl because she's still with Destiny. I'm doxing this person because he's nice to Destiny. They did it with Tom. Did you ever see? I sent a screenshot where they did it with Tom where they're like, oh, why is Tom saying this? Does anybody have
Tom?
No. Tom is in
Tomfoolery?
Tomfoolery. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Tomfoolery tweeted one critical question one time about like that rape narrative about me or the crazy narrative. This Stranger Me guy, that's Stranger Me is a blab. Like, look at that response because he tweeted one thing where he was asking a question, right? And then look at what his response is. That guy, that Stranger Me guy, that's blab. He's doxed like 20 people in my life. Yes. He doxed Zoe and Jacob. They know it. I got DMs from Zoe where her and Jacob quit the whole internet because they were so terrified of him. He's doxed my girlfriend. Probably like in the past like 20 pages, he'll like redox her like every few weeks when he's bored.
Bro,
he's
this guy's saying Willy is a competition for biggest footsie retard. Come on, dog.
Yes, but he's saying
what?
That because you won't come out and post a video like unequivocally calling me like a mass. This is what they do. So whatever like you're working on right now is a waste of time because if you post this, you're gonna have Hassan's community, you're gonna have these people on. That's fine, but you say that now, but it'll turn into them going after you, and then they'll try to dox you or your girlfriend, or they'll go after your family, or they'll go after friends of yours, or they'll go after other people in the commentary community until they make videos about you. Like this is like the pattern. It is so fucking irritating. That's why people like Gisticle and Queeman, if I could, I would put their balls in a vice and crush them, and then slice them off, and then feed them to them, and then slice them and kill them. Okay. Them because they're amplifying all this shit and they're knowingly playing a part of it. They know what's going on, but like Kelly Jean,
laying on the
dude, I
loadout.
can send you like 50. Like there are so many albums of them just constantly talking shit about me, talking about my dick, talking about my girlfriend, talking about my kid, like constantly. It never ends. It's never ending. Constantly talking about me, constantly talking about my girlfriend, and half the shit talking about is just stuff that's they're like getting off of like Kiwi Farms and just discussing it like in their servers.
Poor headache.
I've never looked into their Discord servers, but I'm wondering, like, if you go there right now, is that what you're going to see? Because I'm pretty sure, like, Justical and them will say no, but is that really what you're going to see, or is he being pretty selective with the information there? Or do they have sections just for this? Also, like, another thing you, like, have to ask is, like, to what level are they supposed to police if their channels are commentary channels and they talk about a bunch of people on their streams, like Justical talks about a bunch of people, not just Destiny, but the people in his Discord are talking amongst themselves and they just want to talk about Destiny. Like, how much policing do you want to do and say, okay, guys, we have to only talk about this creator this much, or you can only talk about this creator this week? Like, are they joining in on it, or is this just what their community is choosing to talk about? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, if you talk about a bunch of people, but your community is just mostly interested in this one, like at what point does that become? Get Autobot the wrong one. Like at what point does that become your responsibility to police what people are talking about and say, hey, too much talk about Destiny, let's talk about somebody else? I mean, if that's what they want to talk about, and it's a public server, I mean, is he pushing the narrative and pushing the conversation, or is this that's just what they're choosing to talk about and he's not policing them? I would say that their participation matters. If they're not participating and, you know, they're not looking at their Discord and most of their Discord just happens to talk about, just has chosen this as their topic of discussion, then I don't feel like that would fall to Justical. But if they're in there actively participating in it and instigating it and keeping it on that topic, then yes, it would. More context is needed here.
That gets no grace for going through the exact problem that Destiny's complaining about. As far as the messages Destiny sent me, yeah, people are talking.
True. This is the exact same thing that she complained about. And he told her it was her fault. Now that, I'm sorry. I just don't have any sympathy for him. I don't. This man is terminally online. He is absolutely in control of the narrative of the information that he shares and what gets shared about him. And he just won't shut up. He just keeps talking about this shit. So, you know, at some point, I mean, it's your fault. You did it to yourself, right? Isn't that what he said?
About him a lot. I'm sure it's annoying, but so what? This is how the internet works. I hate doxing on the internet. It is the worst part of Kiwi Farms because doxing is when online hate becomes offline hate. It starts affecting people's real life, allowing unhinged individuals to then swat them. People have died from this, but he is being completely unsympathetic towards Anna, who had the same complaints about him, and now he wants to be the doxer. Breaking. It's Saturday. I'm in the middle of editing, but I've just been made aware of Destiny addressing this exact argument I make, and I think it's important to let you hear.
Destiny's mad because people are linking to his Kiwi Farms. Destiny's mad about that, but he linked to Anna's Kiwi Farms, right? Well, if you look at the two differences in context here, it's not even remotely the same.
Wow, so he responded to it before Willie could even get done making the editing the video. Yeah, shut up, you talk too much. All you do is talk about this. Like, you're complaining that other people won't stop talking about you. You won't stop talking about the problem. You just keep giving them content to milk. If you shut up, again, take your own advice. Shut up. Just focus on the content. Focus on the politics and go about your business. People will forget about you and move on. They will run out of things to say because all things have been said. But you just keep responding. Stop fucking responding. You fucking moron.
There was a Kiwi Farms thread that was posted, and everybody kept basically doing what Justical servers doing, where they would link it in my chat, like, oh my God, did you say this? Did you say that? And I think I said something on stream to the effect of, listen, if you want to talk about her, go to our KF thread and talk about her. Don't do it here. I don't want to see this here. This isn't going to be talked about here. Get out. Okay? That was my statement on it. They're trying to pretend like that statement is the same as the 50 extra Discords and the room that, Justical has, where they explicitly talk about all of my stuff on there over and over and over again, and they're linking to it and they're referencing it and talking about it constantly. It's clearly not the same thing. Like, if Justical or any of those side servers made the same statement about me that I made about Anna, I would be totally fine with that. If they were like, listen, guys, we're not going to talk about their personal shit anymore. If you want to talk about it, or like their docs or whatever, if you want to talk about it, then go to CAF and talk about it. I'd be totally fine with that.
But here's the difference. Anna's story isn't breaking from Kiwi Farms. It's breaking from Anna's and Destiny's stream. Meanwhile, the sources from the Destiny drama come from Kiwi Farms. They kind of have to reference it to some degree. I mean, would any reasonable person say that I doxed Keffels because I referenced her Kiwi Farms? Absolutely not. I'm not set on this opinion.
There's a difference between referencing the Kiwi Farms and directing people to it. I'd say that that's an important distinction because he actively directed people to it.
It's probably a case-by-case basis, and I don't know everything J-Stock or Queeman have said, so I could probably be persuaded.
Oh, J-Stock and Queeman. Did they only reference it, or did they direct people to it? I feel like they're referencing it maliciously, though. Again, I have no sympathy because Destiny's done this to people before, too. But I feel like that's what they're doing, like it's a spite-driven. Well, You've told people to go to Kiwi Farms before, so we'll reference that it's there, but they leave themselves the out of going, well, I didn't tell them to go there, but you did tell them it existed. You did remind them that it's there.
Persuaded, depending on the circumstances. Let me know what you guys think. Destiny sent me a message implying that he wanted to use these doxes to sue J-Stock and Queeman. I guess that's better than posting them publicly.
You said J-Stock has greenlit everything coming from Kiwi Farms, which includes doxes of everyone around you. And they're now proceeding to harass you. You said you have a girlfriend, right? I mean, I know that you probably want to keep that private, maybe. I don't know. People know you.
Well, it's not because it's everybody points to Kiwi Farms where they're doxing her constantly. So, and Kelly Jean is also like bringing up things on Kiwi Farms about her, and she's posting about those things. It might even be one of the albums I sent you in like Justical's Discord, and everybody knows it's coming from Kiwi Farms.
But in this message specifically to me, you said, if I'm after any information regarding J-Stock, that's for my own purposes. Are you going to sue J-Stock? Or are you looking into that option?
I'd like to keep that option open. It'd be nice to have that option.
Okay. It's either that or he's actually going to murder them. One or the other.
Oh, I did troll the shit out of the DDoS kid. That's a guy, that's one of the people, like, legitimately, like, I was so, you have no, like, it's actually kind of scary, like, how close I was to getting people together to go down to his house and kill him and his family. Or it would have just been him and his father. Because I didn't know anything about it. Dude, that was some of the most fucked up shit in my entire life. I was so fucking close to doing it. But I was making so much money on Twitch, and I don't know if Nathan was involved in yet, but for whatever reason, I decided that the current life I had wasn't worth the risk of. Oh my god! I was so close to this dress. I had fucking streets mapped out and you had no idea. That's when I first started getting interest in like owning a weapon. I got a permit to own a gun and everything.
A toast to the bad guy. With bad bitches, the bad times will pass by.
These are just some other things from my journey that I found interesting. Denims threw herself in is one of the victims who was secretly recorded.
Like he has so many victims, and he has done this same shtick over and over and over again, where he reaches out, or other women reach out to him who are 18 or 19 or 20. And he does the same song and dance where he tries to use and abuse them and then discard them when it's no longer relevant or useful for him. Unfortunately, I made the mistake of not having had sex with him. And after that point, he decided to just do a full smear campaign on me, and threatened to leak non-sexual, in this case, I feel like it's important to recognize that, illegal recordings of me. We had a conversation, and he recorded it in California, which is a two-party consent state, which you cannot record people without their consent. Since that moment, I basically didn't talk about him at all because, like I said, he is a black hole. He's a cynical piece of shit black hole whose only goal is to sexually abuse women.
I saw this and was like, man, Destiny must have really victimized her in some way if she's talking like this. I
mean, it is Denims. I take everything she says with a massive heaping of salt. Damn it, I'm not going to be able to get to that.
Destiny, and he says that Denim stayed in his apartment for 2 days banging a dude without his knowledge.
However, one weird thing happened where 2 days before
that was the last buy. You're on your own.
All right. She said that she had to catch a ride back to LA early, and only one guy could give her a ride back. Okay? Are you following me?
Wrong gun out. God.
Okay. Now, to be polite, and because I'm mindful of, like, I don't want some girl getting, like, trapped and raped or whatever, I told Denim, I was like, okay, yeah, no problem, that's fine or whatever. However, like, if you need to, like, use my apartment because you need, like, a place to stay so you're not, like, trapped with some random dude or whatever, like, here's how to get into my apartment, just so you know. She's like, okay, thanks. 2 days later, me, Melina, and I think Katerino or whatever, we end up, like, driving back to LA, pull into my apartment, it's in Glendale, go upstairs, open my apartment door, and then in my loft, up pops Denim's head and the guy. And I realized that Denims and the guy had just spent the last 2 days in my fucking apartment with my computer on, like, and all my shit. I'm like, what the this was incredibly weird to me. I don't know why she thought I would have been okay with that. It was so dramatic. I sat them both down. I was like, listen, okay, this is all too much. It's too dramatic, too weird. Like, I don't want anything to do with either of you guys. This is like crazy shit. This has gotten like way too wacky.
You told her how to get in there and like insinuated that she could do it. I mean, she probably overstayed her welcome. You probably didn't mean for her to stay that long, but, or maybe ask first, but you did. Maybe he didn't think she'd take a guy back there, but I mean, you opened the door to that. Like, did you tell her not to bring a guy back there? Because it sounds like it was implied. You know, that implied consent you love so much. It sounds like it was implied that she could do that and it'd be a safer place to bang that dude than going to some random dude's house. Is that she could use your house while she's in town. But, okay. I mean, they're both pieces of shit. I don't care who wins this argument. I don't know which one to believe. I'm leaning more towards Destiny just because I really hate Denims, and she's, I don't know, I feel like she's got an open grudge against Destiny, and that whole group has lied. I feel like they have a track record of lying more than Destiny has. I feel like he's been more honest, at least in the clips I've seen, than they have. But this all sounds stupid in high school to me, about this part in particular. Like, fuck or don't fuck. You think he's mad because you didn't fuck him. He thinks he's saying he's mad because you fucked someone else in his apartment without asking him first, or you overstayed your welcome. I don't know. It's all stupid. This part's just stupid. Denims doesn't even need to be involved in this in any or listen to in any shape, form whatsoever.
They both acknowledged that they had both been like unhinged and crazy, and they understood and blah blah blah.
Last one.
And then after that, like
she's an unreliable narrator anyway.
We like all kind of went our separate ways. Now, I did record that conversation because the big fear I had, and this happened 2 days later, Denims goes online with her new guy friend, and she's like, Steven kicked me out because I wouldn't fuck him.
And that's pretty much what she's claiming now. So when Destiny offered me the recording, I took it, I listened to it, and he's right. She's just lying about the whole thing.
Oh, okay. There you go.
No.
Really?
No.
Why
okay.
was I not told that he was...
Yeah, like I said, Denims has a track record of lying way more than Destiny, from what I've seen. I don't watch either of their live streams, but I can think of a handful of times, most of which Willy's shown in this video, of Destiny lying, and I feel like Denims is lying in just about every single fucking clip I see of her. So, not shocked that she's the one lying in this situation.
Was not allowed to be in the apartment.
Because I wouldn't assume you would bring a stranger into my apartment without asking me.
So he meant stay at my apartment while you're here. Don't stay at a stranger's house. He didn't mean bring that stranger home. He probably should have clarified. I will say that much. But it sounds like it was... Yeah, I mean, I would have to hear like the way that he told her, because again, it could have been that implied consent thing. And that's the problem with your argument, is that if you're going to go with implied consent for your argument to defend yourself, then she can do the same thing here. And it's really a he said, she said thing. I mean, you've got the recording afterward where you caught them there and you were like, no, I wasn't cool with this. But it's clear from this that she thinks you were. So why would she think that? Is she just lying? Or was there implied consent because you made it sound like she could? Yeah. God.
Volunteers to drive you back. I don't know how you feel 100% because you don't talk about any of this stuff, which is fine. So like, if you're like in an awkward situation, right? I'm trying to be a good guy and give you a way out. Like, hey, well, my apartment is open if you want to go in. So that gives you the ability to either say like, oh no, it's okay, I'll go with, or okay, thanks for offering, I'll go to your apartment. That wasn't like bring.
So he meant it as if the date goes bad or things get weird, you don't have to feel like you're trapped there. And it sounds like she took it to mean if things go good and I want to hook up with this guy, don't do it at his house because that might be unsafe. Go do it in Destiny's house where you've got some control over the situation. It sounds like a breakdown of communication, but I'm going to use the term implied consent because, you know, I mean, it applies here. And Destiny said that's okay. So that's what I'm going with.
Into my apartment for him to have free reign in here for a day. Okay, holy shit. Okay. That is so fucking weird. And not only that, but you couldn't even lie about it correctly. You told 3 different lies to different people. You told Melina, ew, I would never and I got into
that. I never said that.
You did. I looked at the text. You did.
OMFG, no.
Yes.
It was
So
not ew,
okay, OMFG, no. So I come home and you're both still here. Why? Why would you?
Okay.
Why?
Okay, then it does sound like she knew she shouldn't have had him there. If what Destiny's saying is true there, and she was lying to Destiny's wife about being there with the guy while she had him there, then you can't go with the implied consent thing, because if she thought she had his consent, then she would have just said, yeah, Destiny said it was okay. And then you could chalk it up to a breakdown of communication. But if she's lying about being there with him to his wife, so that, which, I mean, that sounds dumb. Like, why would you not then leave immediately after that so you don't get caught? Because you have to assume that Destiny's wife is going to show him those texts, which is what he's saying she did. So why would you think, oh, she's not on to me, I can stay? Because you're going to get caught. It just, again, all stupid. Oh, they're fucking morons.
Why would you put me in this weird spot where I have to come home and see an incredibly creepy guy that is such a weird position in my community that's been trying to get me to stop talking to my ex-girlfriend because he's trying so hard to f her, is now f***ing somebody else in my bed, dragging his f***ing hairy balls across my f***ing blankets.
How do you know his balls are hairy?
Oh my god. And so we leave for an hour. He's like, holy shit, that's weird. So we leave for an hour and come back and your balls still there. Oh god. I don't know if he's like, I need to get like a few more logs or pictures off of Destiny's computer. Holy shit. I don't think I've ever had somebody fuck me that hard where I've tried to like offer somebody to somebody in my entire life. I don't think I've ever been like so burned on somebody before. Holy shit.
Destiny kicks her out.
He was right to think that, because that is definitely something she would do, is try to get logs off his computer while she was there. He was right to worry about that. But if that's what you're worried about, why would you leave the house for? Why would you? All right. Why would you leave the house for an hour? Why wouldn't you just kick them out immediately? I don't. God, so much of this is stupid and doesn't make sense.
Out of the house, and before she goes, she says, I thought it was okay because I thought this weirdo guy changed for the better, completely missing the point for why he didn't like her there.
I thought I was a pretty good judge of character, so now I'm like, am I a really bad judge of character? Has he changed since the last time he's been in your community?
Yep, there's the team.
Is everything that I've been told fake or something? And it's really fucking with me, because generally speaking,
I didn't catch all that. I'm gonna go back and re-listen to it. All right, here we go. Let's re-listen to that.
Point for why he didn't like her there.
At this point, I'm like, I thought I was a pretty good judge of character, so now I'm like, am I a really bad judge of character? Has he changed since the last time he's been in your community? Is everything that I've been told fake or something? And it's really fucking with me, because generally speaking, I have a relatively good read on people. So I don't know, this
I don't know.
Denham's trying to throw herself in with these victims is so disgusting. She sees all these alleged victims and she goes, I want to be one of them. Let me hide behind California law so he can't prove me wrong. It had nothing to do with hooking up with Destiny. She lies with a smile. I also want to address one particular guy who is determined that I can't upload this video until I respond to him. Well, I worked hard on this video, so I better get to it. It's called WillyMac, PR for a Predator. He's mad at me for interviewing Destiny as if I'm somehow giving Destiny clout.
So WillyMac is choosing to platform a violent psychopathic.
That makes no sense. Destiny is, I mean, even after all its controversies, Destiny's community, or his viewership, its community, it's still way bigger than WillyMac. How does the guy with less viewers than you give you clout? What is this argument?
Criminal who wants other creators doxxed and murdered and is laughing about it on Twitter. These two are so unlikable, referring to the people Destiny doxxed and wants dead, even when they're being threatened with their dox. Notice how he doesn't mention the death threats. I can't help but notice how big off losers they are. Lol, 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 lol.
He wants me to pearl clutch over Destiny's violent remarks, where in the tweet I'm quoting, Queeman is making violent remarks towards another Twitter account who simply posted my content.
Curiously, so this guy's like a pathetic, cocksucking hack loser, right? He needs to be absolutely kicked into the dirt.
I think he just hates Hassan, but
this guy needs to be stomped into the fucking dirt. This guy.
If you want to say that,
these guys say violent things just like Destiny. They were huge fans of him up until recently. I don't feel like anyone's in any actual danger, but if they feel like they are, they should thank me for giving them the warning and call the cops. He says I'm downplaying Destiny's crimes for predicting that his career won't end over this.
You're totally right, but I've never seen someone's career end over some shit like this.
There's WillyMac downplaying Destiny's crimes, who gets interrupted by Nicholas Diorio, commentary's top janitor. Diorio downplays Willy's downplaying of Destiny's crimes, then makes...
What? Who is this guy? What are these takes?
sure that optically they're shitting on Destiny hard enough.
Destiny's videos are getting hundreds of thousands of views. He's streaming live to over 30,000 people. Why is me being factually correct about how this will affect his career downplaying what he did? I think the bigger problem is when people like this guy equate what Destiny did to Jeffrey Epstein.
Especially when we're talking...
Is this a Hassan fan he's talking to? Like he's... Destiny's got a controversy and it sounds, this dude's like smelling blood in the water. Like, what do you expected WillyMac show to do about it? Hit pieces aren't really his thing. He just says, here's the information, here's what happened, and then that's it. Like, that's pretty much all his videos ever are. Just a recap of a drama.
Talking about a guy with the nickname Epstein.
Or when J-Stock says Destiny has created a rape machine.
I think one of the big, a massive talking point here is the infinite rape machine, okay? How does the infinite rape machine work?
You guys make what Destiny actually did wrong seem not that bad, because Destiny didn't rape anybody, he didn't traffic anyone, he broke people's trust who were intimate with him so he could sex the 19-year-old e-girl, leading to these people's images being forever cemented online. Their employers, their kids, their family members can be harassed forever now. That should be enough to hold him to the fire. But the minute you make it about rape, people go, huh? He raped someone? Oh no, he didn't. He sent nudes. Oh, well then, who cares? You also risk getting sued for calling it rape, but that's just me.
Yeah, just like the opposite can have an even worse effect. Like you you're claiming Willy's downplaying it when you're like overstating it and making it sound like something it's not. So then when people learn the truth about it, then they don't care. Like, that's why you both are bad. Downplaying it would have been bad, but it doesn't. I have not got that feeling from this video at all. I don't think Willy's downplayed a fucking thing. But overstating it and calling it the R word here, calling it grape, because like Destiny did do that. That's also misrepresenting it. Like, both would be bad.
Sweeping, I guess. Common sense is sweeping. He says I shouldn't reach out to Destiny for comment.
Reaching out for comment can be helpful sometimes. However, it is not the ultimate journalistic tool, especially when we're talking about a guy with the nickname Epsteiny. You shouldn't reach out to Destiny for—
Yeah, but who gave him that nickname? That's also important. Because I've only ever heard one group of people use that name. And they're not exactly a trustworthy bunch, as proven earlier in this video with Denims.
For interview on his crimes for the same reason you shouldn't platform and befriend someone like Mr. Girl. It doesn't really matter if you speak out against touching kids and violence if you befriend and platform people who advocate for such things. You are giving them an opportunity to downplay and normalize their behavior, maybe even make it look cool.
I am investigating a story, reaching out to people to get more information, again, is common sense. If I didn't do that, I'd be no better than President Sunday and Beckett, who didn't reach out.
Yeah. This is called research. It would be a one thing if he's platforming him and making it like this one highlight, like Destiny was the only person he talked to and he did this highlight piece on him, but he talked to literally everybody involved. Destiny's one side of a greater narrative. I mean, by this own guy's logic, he also platformed the other side, the people that he's saying he should platform. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, nothing in Willy's video is malicious. This is so stupid. This guy sounds like a fucking Hassan simp, man. Like I am getting Hassan chatter vibes hard right now.
Out to Pixie, Sunday proceeded to slander her horribly because he fundamentally misunderstood the story. Both wound up getting their videos cited in her court document. Quote, the videos include screenshots of private messages of Pixie discussing the situation with friends and claims that Pixie took hush money, only cares about money, and doesn't care about the other victims of the defendant. All of this is false. That's why it's important to reach out. You saying that I'm irresponsibly platforming Destiny is ridiculous because this video isn't even out yet. You don't even know how it's gonna end up. You know who's not mad at me? Any of the victims or Pixie. I've been talking to her side as well. I'm going to have an on-the-record conversation with her and her legal team in the future. There are people that are so obsessively mad at Destiny, they'd rather me not do a good job when making a video. It's very odd to me.
I'm going to go through a few other clips and then start asking Willy some pointed questions. Knowing the commentary community, they will never be answered.
Well, it's your lucky day.
Oh, great. We're all the same. We're just a monolith now.
How much and what kind of input did Destiny have on WillyMac's video on Destiny? Has Destiny had input on WillyMac's other videos?
Destiny has no input on anything I do. Do you think he likes that I'm dragging out this career-defining drama another month? I showed up on one podcast and people think I'm an industry plant. I don't know how to battle this level of delusion.
2. In the initial video, were there parts of the conversation between Destiny and Willy that were left out in an attempt to hide Destiny's influence on the video, particularly in regards to President Sunday and Beckett?
Destiny never brought up President Sunday or Beckett when we talked. Pixie's side did because President Sunday slandered her, and Beckett leaking her document with her intentions to sue before it was ready gave Destiny notice to delete evidence. This is all in her court papers. I knew about this beforehand because I reached out to Pixie and she told me. Crazy how that works.
Has WillyMac ever received any funding or payment from Destiny, Dan Saltman, or anyone else associated with Omni Liberal Studios? That's Destiny's media company.
Not a single dollar. Again, why would he pay me to make him look bad? These people are so stupid.
4.
Did this guy even watch Willy's video, or did he just hear Willy was making a video and assume the worst? Like, I can't tell. Are you just a malicious, like, this? Yeah, well, that would make him a Hassan chatter, because they're known to not watch things and react to them without watching them. Because Hassan is still yet to watch his content, Nuke.
4. Since Nicholas Diorio has given Dan Saltman optical advice.
But I spoke to him and I'm like, listen, the problem with you and Erudite is you guys knew for months, so you've come to terms with this and you've engaged with it. That's not what the public wants to hear a day after they find out. When you start the initial statement being like, guys, rehabilitation is the answer before anybody gets their licks in, people are gonna fucking hate you.
And
that's not advice. I think he's misunderstanding what Nicholas DiOrio does. I mean, I've heard him do this to a lot of people. He's not giving him advice. He does, like, they're not friends. This is him critiquing his content and his commentary and telling him why it's bad. That's all this is. Like, he's not giving him advice. He's not trying to help him. Nick is one of these guys I feel is in it for the love of the game. Because I do watch the DiOrios. And I feel like he's just in it for the love of the game. And when he sees people making bad content, he tells them why their content's bad. He tells them why they're bad commentators. That's all I heard from that. I don't think he's trying to help Dan Saltman. I'm not a huge fan of Dan either. That guy grades on my nerves. He's anxiety inducing. I hate listening to that guy. He's an asshole for the sake of being an asshole.
Considering some of the other behind-the-scenes conversations that the commentary community has had with Dan Saltman regarding his lawfare against Twitch, among other details alluding to collusion, can WillyMac speak to the collusion between the commentary community, Ethan Klein, Destiny, Dan Saltman, and OmniLiberal Studios?
I'm guessing this guy also thinks a cabal of Jews secretly run the world, because that's the same logic. I've never even spoken to Ethan. I think Nick talked to Destiny once on a panel. Does this mean I can never go on someone else's podcast or show again because if the person ever gets in a scandal, that means I'm best friends with them? You're all way too parasocial.
5. How much has the commentary community, people like Nicholas DiOrio, talked about avoiding backlash from Destiny's community, or being fearful of Destiny's community, or something along those lines? Can Willy elaborate on that hidden influence of fear within his community?
Look what happened with Chud Logic and Lauren Southern. He had Melina coming to him and telling him these things directly. And he was put in a position where he can either eat shit and be hated by that community and lose a huge percentage of his audience, to the point where I had to pick up the other half of the slack and like help him out, right, to keep him afloat, or he could just leak those messages and be justified immediately, and it would start like a huge conflict. And I guess he did the right thing by loyalty.
This guy is completely taking Nick out of context. Nick is giving the sound advice to not go forward with the story unless the victim is willing to go public as well.
I didn't even see it as advice. I just saw it as content critique, but I mean, you can take it as advice. Either way, it doesn't make him friends with them. They're clearly not friends.
Is he really saying he disagrees with that? This YouTuber is bad faith or has an IQ in the single digits. This fan fiction is out of control. I've never had a conversation about being afraid of Destiny. Destiny doesn't even have 1 million subscribers. I talk about bigger, more combative people all the time. Realistically, what is there to be scared of? We make YouTube videos. It's not that serious.
It's time that we get an understanding of just how much coordination, fear, and middle school shenanigans go into making it seem like someone like WillyMac is a journalist, like Destiny is a real political pundit, like DiOrio is a media expert. They're not.
Other people call me a journalist because I aim for the incredibly low bar of reaching out, which you don't even want me to do. Destiny is a political pundit. What do you think a political pundit is?
Yeah, I mean, if Hassan can be called a political pundit, then so can Destiny. He is one. He's interviewed politicians. He's been on talk shows. He's been on all the same places all other pundits have been. Yeah, he's a pundit. For better or worse, whether you like it or not, he's a pundit. He's not just a YouTuber anymore. He has transcended.
What it means is someone who talks about politics with authority. And I've never heard anyone...
Yeah, with authority and for a living, which he does both of those things. Like I said, for better or worse, regardless of your feelings of him, a fact is a fact. He is a pundit.
Refer to Nick as a media expert. I don't even know what a media expert means.
If WillyMac doesn't answer these questions, and I'm betting he won't, then I would advise everyone to disregard his coverage of Destiny. He is too close to him to be reliable.
Well, there you go. I answered them, you absolute schizophrenic. This is all unhinged. It's like when J-Stalk was asking me why I didn't cover Cherry in my...
Yeah, it sounds like he just got one guyed by a fucking Hassan chatter. That is all that sounded like. I wouldn't even have engaged with that. But, I mean, it did make for a good video and it was funny, so whatever. Bleed out.
Y'all can clear it out.
Bleed out.
My video.
I don't think you worked very hard on this video. And, like, for example, you know, you didn't really include much of the Cherry stuff, which is required, which is what really shook this whole situation up.
When I point out that I did include the Cherry stuff, he says I missed important tweets, so I asked him to link me them.
She tells you explicitly, apparently, that
she didn't tell me explicitly anything.
What I've posted publicly is all I would have to contribute. So she's basically saying, go, like, if there's anything you want from me, I will post it publicly. And and she had
And I
posted
did
about
look
this
at her
publicly.
tweets. All right, link me her tweet right now. That's the big thing with all the information.
I don't know if there's like an archival tweet for this, but there were tweets about it, right?
Wait, you can't look at more than one tweet?
Can you find it now? He couldn't link me a tweet because I didn't miss anything. He then says I should have reached out to him about Cherry.
There are a ton of people around Cherry who could have given you information. Me specifically, I was like,
I don't know
plenty
who
happy
the
to give you
fucking
information.
people are, man.
Why would I go to a secondhand source about Cherry's allegations? That's literally how Sunday screwed up his video. But then I realized J-Stock only had this opinion because he didn't watch my video.
Like I didn't like prepare that in any way. And like I said, I hadn't even watched the full video yet. I done my like click through, like my little quick skimming.
Cherry then crashed out against J-Stock after this with these insane tweets. I think J-Stock, Destiny, and every other person in my life is trying to get me to kill myself. I think when J-Stock told me I'm Wreckful and he's Dr. K and he promises to be my friend for 2 years no matter what, because he often blocks me if I disagree with him or don't do what he wants me to do. He means for me to depend on him so I eventually kill myself like Wreckful did. Wow, J-Stock, you seem like you're doing great work over there. The reality is, this isn't a career-ending drama, but it is defining. Every time his name comes up, people will bring up this situation, and they are correct in doing so. You can't demand accountability of people where week after week he demands it of all these Republicans, but then in your own personal life, you're just excusing your actions.
Yeah, you've opened yourself up to this because of all the hypocrisy involved. And not even just the Republicans, like the red pill stuff. Like, you've opened yourself up to hypocrisy with those guys, too. Because of the way that like you're talking to and treating women here, but yet given the speeches to all these red pill guys about the way they talk to and treat women. So, yeah, it's definitely going to have an effect.
With implied consent, which is just an excuse to share nudes of other people. It's caused real harm to Pixie that he has in the past acknowledged. So I want to wrap up with, do I think Destiny has a pattern of abuse? Well, he sexually assaulted a woman on stream, apologized, then years later slandered Anna on stream while sexting her. She doesn't describe it as abuse, but I still think it's pretty bad. Dan, Destiny's co-host, advocated for his wife to leave him.
I'll say this also. I think Steven was a really shitty husband to Melina, okay? I'm coming out here saying it right now. I don't think Steve would deny it either. But it's not good the way that he was. Like, I talked with Melina a lot of times and she was crying and miserable and everything else. And Steve would say, what do you want me to say? I'm a selfish motherfucker. That's why I'm in the relationship that I'm in. He was like, you know, what should I do? Should I leave? And I'll tell you this, I never was like, I was never like, no, you should stay and make things out. I told her multiple times, like, listen, if you feel like this is an abusive relationship, get the f out of there.
So I don't think I'm sold on it being a pattern of abuse because they're different things. And we really don't know the details with Melina. But if other people think this all proves a pattern, I'm not going to argue with them. The clear...
Yeah, it's a tough read. I mean, there's a lot of he said, she said involved in this too. Like a lot of claims being made with like no substantial evidence behind them. Like, oh, it's a pattern. He shares stuff. He shared this person's stuff and this person's stuff. Okay, well, where's the proof of that? So far, we've only seen the proof of him sharing Pixie stuff. Like, okay, well, he treated this person this way and he abused Anna, and then you interview Anna. Well, I wouldn't call it abuse. Yeah, like it's just going back and forth thing. I would agree with Willie. I don't see a pattern, but I can also see how you could think there would be. So it's not a good look for him, that's for damn sure.
The pattern to me is that Destiny is always sharing nudes, whether it's blue tea or threatening Anna.
That is a pattern. That I'll agree with him on. He does have a pattern of sharing nudes and that frat boy-like kind of behavior.
With hers or sharing Pixie's, Stacia's, Melina's, Cherry's. Anna claims that she received other girls' nudes that she didn't know. Was this also without consent? We'll probably never find out. He has to apologize at some point, hopefully when the trial is over. It's like Sneeko calling out people for being heartless while he says Hitler did nothing wrong. Or him calling OnlyFans girls hurrah but hanging out with them all the time. It may seem like an extreme example, but Destiny has victims and Sneeko doesn't. Contemplate that. As far as people just watching Destiny for his politics, I think that's fine. Turns out there's a lot of hypocrites in the political space. At the end of the day, I'm not here to be anyone's friend or enemy. I'm here to get a laugh, shed light on a story, and do a good job. So subscribe to the channel, and be sure to check out Aura. Shout out to the homies over on Patreon, Crimson Glass River.
Okay, no, I agree. I'm kind of in the same boat as Willie. I don't have a dog in this race, but it is a interesting drama to talk about. And I do want to see more people get the facts right. God damn it, I want to pay attention. All right. Well, so there's WillyMac's content cop on Destiny, and the end result, I would really call that a content cop. I'm pretty sure he was making a joke there. I'd say the end result of his content cop on Destiny is inconclusive. Usually a content cop is putting the truth forward and exposing someone, and all he's exposed is that, well, there is one conclusion we can come to for sure with Destiny, and that is he is a gooner. He is definitely, if he's guilty of anything throughout all of this, he is guilty of gooning. He is a gooner. So take from that what you will. I'll be keeping an eye on the court case stuff. And until I see any actual substantial evidence of him sharing any other of him being abusive toward girls, that I don't know. I don't. Physical abuse, definitely not. I don't see any evidence of that. But emotional abuse, I don't know. I think he might be a little bit of a sociopath. But whether or not that makes him abusive, I mean, I suppose that's up to interpretation. Sociopaths can sometimes seem abusive because they're unfeeling in what they say. But then again, for it to be abuse, there also has to, I don't know, like, I don't think he's intentionally saying things to hurt people. Not all the time, anyway. I don't know. Like, I'm more interested in the court case and the whether or not, I'm very interested in the legality behind it, especially since this is a particular instance where you've got a guy's, where you've got the action a guy made fall under one law, and then that law changed before it goes to court. So I'm wondering if that wouldn't affect the way they interpret it, because it's definitely affecting the way people interpret it online. Like, I'm wondering how it'll affect the court case. So I'm very interested in the court case. The rest of it all sounds like high school drama, and all these people are way too old for this shit. But it is funny to watch. This is like my modern day Jerry Springer. So anyway, thanks for watching this video, guys. If you're new to the channel, be sure to like, subscribe. I'm not going to give a shout out to my patrons. I don't have any yet. I'm not going to do what Willie just did. We are kind of new to streaming here, so I'm kind of learning as I go to making this content. But if you guys have any feedback for me or like what I'm doing, like the video. If you dislike it, dislike it. If you got some feedback for it, leave it in the comments. If you want to be part of the live streams, we do these every night right here on YouTube at 11 p.m. roughly. So follow me on Twitter to see exactly when I go live. And if you want to become one of the viewer call-ins or play some video games with me, be sure to join the Discord. Tomorrow we also do gaming streams. It's not all drama all the time here. And tomorrow it's going to be a special gaming stream because it is rumored that Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remake will be shadow dropping tomorrow. So I plan to do a special daytime stream for that one, and that will be just 100% chill gaming stream. You guys come and hang out with me while I check out the remake of Oblivion. Oblivion's one of those Elder Scrolls games I played back in the day and never beat. I don't even remember how far I got in it, so it's kind of going to be a fresh experience for me. A little excited for it. I'm usually not into medieval fantasy stuff, but you know, it's medieval Fallout as far as I'm concerned. I love Fallout, so this is going to play the same way because it's a Bethesda game. So I'm excited for it, and we'll still do the drama stream at 11. For now, though, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.